I welcome you guys back into my nice beautiful course over here. I understand that what is important every single day is understanding that no matter what you're doing, you're just making sure every single day that you can do your best, because when you're doing your best, you focus upon making sure that you can go and live your life. So when you're living your life, you understand either way that what's important is that I just go and really, let's say, I just go and make my nice beautiful tone over here. So you just have to understand either way to go and really understand that before anything happens in terms of your video, be able to test the nice beautiful microphone before you actually get on the video, so that you can actually have the audio sound as you want it. Because if it's too loud around the park, or else somebody's going to come here and complain. Yes, and so what's the point is understanding every single day that you go and really complain less about people's sound and how much sound and noise they're making, so that you can become more successful. So when somebody's so loud around you and they're just talking above you and they're just singing above you and they're just doing something randomly where they're singing above you, you must understand to listen in silence and just be more silent when loud people are around you. You understand? But if you try to be louder than them in the performance of what they're doing or whatever, you then are challenging them through sound. So what you want to do is, when you have your audio playing, but somebody else places their audio over yours, you turn off your audio and go somewhere else. I mean, is that simple? I promise you it's very simple, but what happens here is you show yourself much more support to never ever go against audio. You understand? So what you do is understand every single day that you focus upon understanding that you go your way, and make sure that you're more silent than those people around you. So every single day, look for nice, beautiful ideas that you can give people, so that you can go and do your work in the street, or maybe in the park, such as I am today. But I have my nice, beautiful camping chair. I have a camping chair today, and it's because I went to Big W in Australia and I got myself one in terms of I invest in one, and I never got myself one, I just do one in terms of I realize that what's amazing is I just go and get it. I go get myself a camping chair so that I can do this nice beautiful program in the park, so I never have to sit on the grass, and so I never have to sit on the dirt, and so I never have to sit on a mattress, and so I never have to pick up a mattress or actually carry a mattress around. You understand? I get to sit nicely on a chair where it's comfortable in a way that I can do my work, you understand, and grow. Although I understand that I get comfortable in a way that I can grow. You understand? You have to understand that you have to be comfortable sometimes in a way that you understand that you must grow through being comfortable. You understand? You have to be making sure every single day that you're focusing upon something that makes you uncomfortable in a way that you're growing. So understand that what's important is understand I'm very comfortable right now. I'm very comfortable, but I'm growing. And now what is uncomfortable about this moment is understanding that there's nothing about my life that's really uncomfortable anymore. Or else now, guess what? Or else you never have to be in discomfort anymore. You understand? You never have to be dissatisfied anymore. You have to be able to be satisfied with yourself to grow, and you have to be comfortable with yourself to grow. You understand? I promise you, that's it. I promise you, every single day, you must understand that if you want to face the fear of life, you must be comfortable with fear. You must be comfortable with everything. You understand? Because that way you're going to be calm about it. I promise you that what's amazing every single day is focus on understanding that everybody has their own teachings and everybody has a different way of saying something. So every single day that you support yourself through doing something that you love to do, you focus upon understanding that either way, that you just go and really dwell upon a better life. So understand that I may have the sun over here. So what's amazing is you can still see me, for example. So every single day I see the sun. Although you must understand that either way, I make sure I'm always developing my work. I'm always doing something that really helps me. So I just want to be able to go and see this nice beautiful video after my nice beautiful performance to see how is the sun actually in my video, and how is it actually discriminating my video in a way that I can go and do my work anyway. But what's amazing is focus upon understanding that you have the audio technique every single day to go and do your work. Or else every single day, you must understand that whatever makes you happier in life, you must understand is or else it's the whole point. So, or else it's just a nice beautiful way of saying that the sun is blocking my nice beautiful composure here. So there's no blocking it right here. You understand? So either way, when I do this, or else it never goes into my lens. Or else now when I do that, or else now I realize that my lens is full of the sun. So when it's full of the sun, or else now, or else it may be shady for you. You understand? So either way, or else if I just do this, or else that it may be even better to do so. Or else either way, I just make sure I test it out. So sometimes you have to go and block the sun from the lens of the camera so that you can see yourself in the actual camera. You understand? So either way, or else that's what is amazing every single day, is focusing upon understanding that whatever you're doing in life, you're going to focus upon communicational skills, and you're going to focus upon making sure that you love yourself. So sometimes all you have to do is just move over a bit, I mean, just move over a bit in terms of life, and then just go and really, really reverse the camera in a different way, and then just start speaking in a different way. You understand? Because that's sometimes something that you have to do to live your life. So every single day, focus upon understanding that whatever you want to do is sometimes you have to sometimes reposition your video. You understand? You have to reposition your video and the camera to be able to go and give your live performance or something that you love to do. So just make sure every single day that you understand now, I never carry 2 microphones anymore with myself, and I only ever carry 1 microphone with myself now, because I want to be the only one that's doing my videos. I never want to interview other people anymore. You understand? Because what's amazing is understanding that if I want to interview you, I'll do it with you online. I'll interview you online. I never want to interview you in my videos. You understand? So what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding how to do so. I mean, focus upon understanding how you can actually be something much more in your life. So now, since I'm actually doing this nice, beautiful work alone, without people anymore in my videos, I promise you, it's all they understand that I'm adapting very fast. So I just made some quick changes around my life. You must understand, although, that what's amazing is every single day I show you the actual changes that I'm making in my journal every single day. So I focus upon understanding that I have my Apple Watch and I'm always doing my nice, beautiful content regardless of what day it is. I make sure every single day that I can come and do my work. So I always find some place to come and do my work regardless of what's going on. So every single day I'm focusing upon making sure that I can do my work, and that way I make sure I'm always delivering. I realize when I deliver something, I'm doing it in silence. So now the kind of changes I made in my life is I make sure from now on that I never ever go around singing with my trolley in terms of being loud in front of people. You understand? I mean, anything that's loud around me. Whereas now this may be loud, but I'm here alone. I realize there's no people around me. You understand? So there may be people over there somewhere, but I'm alone in here. I stay alone. I make sure I understand that every single day that silence is the best way. Whereas when you're promoting other people, for example, and you are giving ideas and you're actually helping other people prosper, you will also prosper, and you will also be in promotion because you are helping other people to promote themselves with yourself. You understand? So when I promote you for the rest of my life, you're going to promote me. You understand? But when I promote you in front of people, or when I promote you in front of people, you are also going to talk to me eventually through words. You're actually going to be somewhere in my life on some day. You understand? Or else now, someday means now, although understand either way that what's important is when I promote you, eventually you'll come into my life to say thank you. You understand? So that's the whole point of promoting other people. So when you look at Evan Carmichael, for example, or else he promotes everybody in terms of everybody that you understand. I mean, billionaires and anybody who's successful, you understand? Or else, although you must understand that he is also much more in recognition and has much more respect from those people that he promotes. You understand? So the more you promote those people and people around you, the more of a respectful kind of individual you're going to be with yourself and others. So every single day, focus upon understanding that the whole point of promoting other people is to promote, or the whole point of promoting other people is to promote yourself. Understand? Or else, although every single day, focus upon understanding that today you can grab Evan Carmichael's idea, for example, which is promote other people, and go and see what he's doing and just copy him. So what you have to do is create the same thumbnails as him, or else he's already done it for you, but just go and find different photos and name it all differently. Understand? Although you make different videos of those people and cut them up, or else you cut up all the segments, and understand either way you're just going to do something similar. Understand? Although realize every single day that I'm always doing that right now. But understand that what's amazing is you have to make people aware that you're promoting them, because if you're not making them aware, then how are they going to be in your life? You have to understand every single day you have to make people more aware than ever before, so that you can go and really, really do your life much greater. So every single day, you reposition yourself into a new video where you can go and really give those ideas daily, so you can go and focus upon your work. I promise you, although I have a peaceful life now, I have a peaceful life much more than yesterday, but I understand that fame is never something that's really, really what you want. Whereas what you want is more silence. You want to be silently popular. You understand? I promise you, although you never want to be loud while you're popular, you want to be silent. You understand? So what's amazing is understand Jim Carrey and Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, they are much more quiet today than ever before, because understand that if they start going around the world and start calling themselves God and all this in front of people, I promise you, people will just say, get lost. You understand? But they are just doing something silently behind the scenes, and that's why they're showing up in films. And then silently, they're always in films, you understand? And that's why they are popular, because they're silently doing it. behind the scenes. You understand? So you have to go and find something that you can do silently in your life so that you can go and become popular. So for example, let's say myself over here, I promise you, although I'm posting 60 photos a day on my Instagram. I mean, every 24 hours, I mean, you see 60 new photos of myself. You understand? Because that's something I do silently. You understand? Although you understand that. You can say Danny Milivojevic now is going to be doing this for the rest of his life. And for the next 72 years, I promise you, I can go on his nice beautiful Instagram and check out 60 photos of himself, about 60 ideas about how he actually does fashion modeling. Understand? I give you guys already 14,000 ideas about just how I do my images. You understand? So either way, you must understand that what's amazing is understand that's just one aspect, but then understand my mega drive always has something much more coming in. So I'm always posting one new video a day, for example. So understand either way, I'm doing that silently behind the scenes. So let's say you grew up with me in high school, but now you are somebody who lives in Sydney, but I live in Melbourne. But now you can tune in to my YouTube channel every single day because you understand that I am posting a 1 hour video every single day. I mean, I'm doing that silently, behind your back, you understand? And that's what makes me popular, because that's something that communicates to you that I'm just doing my life. I'm just minding my own business, you understand? Whereas now, when you mind your own business, you're actually going into silence much more. So realize it's very beautiful to come into a nice beautiful park like this and be able to listen to the birds. I mean, you can hear the birds. I mean, you can go and really dwell into a nice beautiful, in terms of a nice beautiful way, and never a pitiful way. So a pitiful way is something that's really miserable and something that's really, really grudging you, in terms of you're always judgmental then. So never be judgmental, but be understanding that anybody who's pitiful is resentful and wants to spit at you. You understand? So realize every single day, you must really, really understand that anybody who's around people is much more in danger than those people who are away from people. So for example, I've seen a nice beautiful photo of a Hawaii. I mean, Hawaii, and there's Tahiti as well, and all these Fiji islands. I mean, nobody's going there for the coronavirus. I mean, nobody, but I want to go there. Understand? But guess what? Or what's amazing is I have something to do already. I have something much more important than Fiji and all that now. Or although it's a great opportunity for you to go right there, right now, because tourism is down. But that's amazing for you. I mean, it's amazing for you to travel during the tourism where the economic climax right now in terms of life is falling in terms of the plastic money. Whereas now plastic money is never the result, but understand the economy around you is falling. But your economy may be rising. Whereas my economy is rising all the time. And why is that? Because my economy is built upon information giving. Whereas now anybody's economy who is falling today is built just on plastic money. Whereas now plastic money always falls. I mean, do you understand? Because plastic money has no real value. I mean, plastic money doesn't give you anything. I mean, you have to understand that you are the one that's giving all the plastic money. You understand? Because plastic money doesn't really evolve you. Or else what evolves you every single day is focusing upon a better life for yourself. So you are talking to yourself, you understand? Because plastic money never talks to you. You talk to the plastic money. You understand? I promise you, anything that has value is growing. But plastic money never grows. You understand? I promise you that what grows is you only. So focus upon understanding that any kind of area that you live right now, you must be able to go and do a video every single day upon ideas and upon ideas and upon ideas to be coaching people, something that you love to do. So I came a long way from my nice beautiful first course that I've done in my how-to series. I mean, there's a big difference between those moments and these moments. I'm pretty sure that was just 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure that I'm now much more in dispute of a better way. You understand? I'm much more progressing forward than ever before because I understand either way that now I have a trolley, I have a portable speaker. I gave $430 to get one portable speaker so I can have a microphone, and so that also I can pump my music where I can go alone and just listen to my music alone. You understand? But either way, I promise you, although I'm using my nice beautiful portable speaker to do my life coaching videos every single day, because my music is, I make music maybe once a week or something like that, in terms of once a week is every single day, although I'm making music all the time, you understand? But when I make a soundtrack audio, I understand I have so much to do. I have Netflix, I have so much to do, but then realize that every single day I'm consistent with my life coaching the most. I mean, these videos, I'm consistent with these videos the most, but then if we go to music production, I'm consistent with my music production over time, you understand? I'm still consistent with it, but guess what? It's been 3 days now since I went away from music production. Although I'm planning it, I'm still planning music production, I'm still planning to sing, or else it's been a week since I went to sing my music. You understand? I'm a vocalist as well, I sing my own music. So it's been a week since I practiced my nice beautiful singing with my music. So understand, I still have to come back to it, and I still have to work on that, you understand? So I have to work on all these areas, but I'm doing my life coaching videos every single day. So my portable speaker really helps me with this. You understand? So that's the number one way. But then understand either way that my life coaching is above all. I promise you, my life coaching and these videos that I'm doing makes me happier than my music. You understand? Actually, this life coaching video where I can go and talk it out in a video every single day makes me happier than anything else in the world. You understand? But watch the nice beautiful words in terms of the birds around here. I mean, look at the birds. I mean, they're all loud, aren't they? I mean, yes. And why is that? I realize, are they fighting? I realize now, understand that what's amazing is these birds are never even fighting each other, but they're just raising tones, aren't they? I realize now, you must understand that in life, if humans just raise their tones together, I promise you, we are one. You understand? I promise you, there's no violence. But guess what? I realize that it's never that kind of world anymore. You understand? I promise you that what's amazing is understand that it's a kind of world right now that you understand that when, or else when you raise your voice, or else somebody else wants to cause you violence because you raise your voice. Or else it's that kind of world. You understand? Or else, although, guess what? Or else that if you're around the best people, or else you can be raising your voice, and then guess what? I can also be raising my voice because I understand that with you in my house, for example, or else we just raise our voice. You understand? I mean, just raise your voice. But no fighting physically, you understand? But other people want to fight you physically because you raise your voice. You understand? So it's that kind of world more often today than it is raising each other's voices without physically abusing people with violence in terms of physicality, or as in terms of physicality. Or as although you must understand that what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding to get away from people and raise your voice as much as you want. Because I'm so much more peaceful being alone than with other people right now. I mean, it's so much more of a bliss. They understand that all you ever want is just to be much more silent with yourself and also to understand the word I, and that's it. You just want eternity. You just want to be with Jesus Christ. I promise you, either way, what's amazing is understand how to be more spiritual over time. You must understand that to be more spiritual, you have to understand your word I, and you have to communicate and communicate and communicate with yourself the most. I mean, forget other people. I mean, never communicate with them. I mean, focus on yourself and focus on your business and focus on your passions and do your life. I mean, do your life. I mean, do what you want to do without other people. I mean, you have questions to ask? I mean, ask yourself first. You understand? I mean, go to Jesus Christ and focus on learning information and start really processing that information daily. And then start really giving that information that you're learning daily. And then you're going to be an expert in something. I'm an expert in the word I only. Or else everything else I talk about is understanding the word I. I promise you, everything I promise you, the only word I've ever said in my word in terms of my life is my word I. And that's it. I promise you, there's nothing else. I promise you, if you want to remember me, I promise you, if you want to remember my life, you remember me by the word I. I promise you, that's how I want to be remembered by you all. I want you to understand that Danny says that if you want to remember Danny Milivojevic, you remember him by the word I. You are I. I promise you, everything is I. I promise you, every single day, I'm just the word I, and that's it. I promise you, there's nothing else that you can label me with. I promise you, every day, I'm just focusing on my I. I'm just focusing upon understanding how to really lift people. And when I lift people, I like to come here to the park now. I realize that I'm in Newcastle. I have a nice beautiful time here. I mean, you can see the birds. I mean, you can see I have no other people around me. I'm having a beautiful time alone. I never need a woman around me. I never need kids around me. You understand? Because I'm here traveling. I'm here just supporting myself. But now tourism is down. You understand? But my tourism is up. I realize now other people's tourism is down. Of course, I realize the economic world around you, in terms of other people, is always going to be falling down, while you must be raising yourself up. I realize now I'm always rising myself up. You understand? But everybody else around me is falling down. You understand? I mean, why are they falling down? Because they're never as quick as I am to give you knowledge. Or else they are so, let's say, people who are not learning as fast as I am. I'm learning so much quicker than them, and that's why my economy is rising. And that's why I'm the self-education guru, where I'm teaching you everything. I'm teaching you the nice beautiful ideas of my life, but you have to teach yourself. You have to understand that you're the ultimate guru of your life. I'm the ultimate guru of my life. I have to teach myself everything. You have to teach yourself everything. I can teach you in the ideas. I can give you so many ideas upon how to teach yourself, but you have to apply that yourself. I promise you that the more knowledge I give you, or else the more I'll make common sense with you, and then what happens is you'll understand that maybe I said 10 aspects of ideas, but you'll never take action upon that. You understand? But then one idea that I give you, you take action upon that idea. Whereas now I may give you 1,000 ideas, but you may never take action upon those ideas. But then guess what? I'll give you one idea somewhere where you can take action upon those ideas. And then you'll take action again. And then either way, the more you read, the more ideas, you understand how to take action upon the ideas, and then you'll start doing yourself this content that I'm doing. You understand? Because I read so much that I can now go and speak for 50 hours. on video. You understand? Because guess what? Or else every single day, you must understand that when I really live my life, I live it in bliss and peace. I love to be alone. You understand? But what's amazing is if you and your family today go to a busking performance, or else now here's what I've learned over the 160 hours of doing busking performances, and understand now to never go there. I promise you, never go there. I promise you, what's amazing about busking performances is understanding to go busking performances, but be silent only. I mean, never go busking performances to be loud. Or as now, I see plenty of busking performances where people are playing music on the street. Or as they're playing the guitar, I promise they're singing, I promise they're acting, I promise they're doing something like live coaching or public speaking on the street. You understand? But what's amazing is never go there for that. I mean, never go to busking to raise your voice on a public speaking microphone or anything. I promise you now, if you want to promote yourself, you go promote yourself at busking performances now, like I'm doing it. I'm doing now busking performances this way. I sit on the street. I put my sign there. I put my YouTube sign. I just sit down. I relax. I actually get myself a nice beautiful chair like this in terms of my camping chair. I bring my trolley, and on my trolley is my nice beautiful portrait. And guess what? I now, from Q-Space Hotel, go to my nice beautiful busking performances at Pitt Street Mall, because at Pitt Street Mall, there are a lot of people, you understand? And it's the best place to be busking. Although, I sit there for 8 hours a day. And in silence. I just be silent. But my nice beautiful portrait is showing, my nice beautiful portrait and my calendar, which is my marketing material, in terms of my portrait material, in terms of my Instagram, that's on my portrait, that's promoting I mean, everybody can see it. I realize for 8 hours a day, I mean, just do that. But if you're going to busking today, I mean, never again do you go public speaking at a busking performance. I mean, guess what? Or else it's never worth it. I promise you. I promise you that what's worth it is being in silence. You must understand, silence is worth it inside the busking, because the busking of silence, I promise you, people start to love you much more when you're silent around them than when you're louder than them. I promise you. So every single day, focus upon understanding that yes, somebody can come here and kill you in silence. I promise you, they can come and just shoot you. I promise you, it's possible. I promise you, yes, I promise you, a woman or man can reject you even though you are silent with them. I promise you, yeah. I promise you, it happens. I promise you, people can do anything in silence, but never be afraid. I promise you, if somebody comes to just shoot you and they kill you, I mean, forget about it. I mean, yes, I mean, it's never your fault. Or what's amazing is when you live your life to the fullest, I mean, understand everything is your fault. I mean, just make sure that if somebody comes and shoots you today, I mean, just say it's my fault. You understand? I mean, just say it's my fault, although I have to do something better now. You understand? I mean, just make sure you're taking responsibility for yourself anyway. I mean, say it's your fault. Or else every single day, if somebody kills you, I mean, say it's your fault. You understand? Or else now, whose fault is it that Jesus Christ came here? I mean, it's Jesus Christ's fault, isn't it? I mean, come on. I mean, guess what? I mean, who chose to live Jesus Christ's lifestyle? I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, isn't Jesus Christ's fault that Jesus Christ went on the actual cross to die for you? I mean, that's Jesus Christ's fault, isn't it? I mean, of course it is. I mean, who else's fault is it? I mean, guess what? Or else now, understand that. I mean, Jesus takes full responsibility over here and says, it's my fault that I came to die for you. I promise you that's it. I promise you either way, you must understand that no matter what, you take responsibility. And when somebody hits you physically, and when somebody's giving you ideas or whatever, and is irritating you, you say it's your fault about that. Or you say it's your fault that you are irritated. I mean, admit it to yourself. Understand? I mean, admit it. Although every single day, admit that it's your fault. I mean, admit about everything that's happening around the world, that it's your fault, so that you can be much more of a leader. You understand? I promise you that's it. I promise you every single day, focus upon understanding that it's very beautiful to come to a park over here and have a portable speaker amplifier while doing your live coaching videos. Because understand that if I never even, let's say, hook up my microphone to a portable speaker like this, I understand I may be holding my selfie stick like this. Or else now, guess what? Or else now, you may never even get this kind of audio going. You understand? So what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding that sometimes you can put something over your trolley. You understand? You can put something around your trolley that blocks the wind from actually going into your phone. So make sure you understand that you can always get some kind of stand or something like that, where you understand that either way that you can block wind from actually pushing into audio when you're actually going and doing your work. So every single day, understand that if I never invested in my nice beautiful portable speaker for I realize that you would never actually be hearing me like this, you understand? So what's amazing is otherwise, then I have to go and grab my nice beautiful selfie stick like this to speak to you closer, you understand? Because otherwise, you'll be hearing the birds more than me. You understand? But guess what? I mean, I love the birds. I love everything. I realize although, I love it when other people speak over me. You understand? I love it. But guess what? I just go somewhere else. I don't need to listen to them. I listen to Jesus Christ only. I only listen to Jesus Christ only. Or else every single day, I focus upon understanding that if I never had my trolley today, I probably didn't have to carry my shoulder bag. I have to carry a 15-kilo speaker. I have to carry a 10-kilo or I have to carry a 5-kilo shoulder bag. I have to carry my food and drink from Woolworths. I have to carry it 2 kilometers. I mean, do you understand? I mean, I have to carry 20 kilos on me, 20 kilometers every single day. I mean, come on. I mean, in a sense, so get a trolley, and it's much easier. In a sense, so every single day, I put my nice beautiful selfie stick in my trolley, and there's a stand in my trolley where, for example, I put my shoulder bag in my trolley. I mean, that's the kind of stand I'm talking about. Or else that when I put my shoulder bag in my trolley, or else it stands on the floor in my trolley. In a sense, so I put my selfie stick on that floor in my trolley, and then I just put my nice beautiful portable sticker next to my trolley, but then on the edges of my trolley, or else it's like this, or else it's one of those fold-up machines. So either way, I understand that no matter what, I can fold up my trolley. You understand? I can put it into the boot of a car, but then I just hang my nice beautiful microphone just to the side of my trolley so that I can do my work every single day. So that's important for yourself to be able to go do something that you love to do. I promise you, although what's amazing is mind your own business and then focus upon understanding that now, over the course of 160 hours that I've been on public speaking mode inside of a street and performance, yes, I've been improving my communicational skills. I promise you now, is it worth it to improve your communicational skills in the busking performances? I promise you, it's so worth it. I promise you, busking performances is so worth it if you want to increase your talent. But guess what? Whereas now, it's never even worth it for me anymore. Because I can increase my talent without busking performances at all. But what's amazing is busking performances for me right now only has value that I go there to be silent for 8 hours while I'm writing something down and while I'm listening to entrepreneurship, while I'm actually marketing myself for free, and I'm just sitting in front of people and watching people, and I'm just writing something down, and guess what? I'll be doing music production too. And I'll just be increasing my beautiful talents, and that's it. You understand? So what's amazing is I focus upon understanding that I go make the less noise in the busking performances now, because I never want to be public speaking in front of people anymore. I never want to be giving them live performances anymore, because they never appreciate it. I promise you, people never appreciate your live performance. I promise you, they never do it. I promise you. But what's amazing is understand that some people do appreciate it. Whereas now, everybody appreciates silence. I promise you now, guess what? Whereas now, if you go and public speak at a busking event, I promise you, you will increase your confidence. I promise you, I will never lie about that. But then, guess what? You also will understand that your marketing ways of life is never going to come from actual busking performances. I promise you, people are never ever going to promote you when you're busking performance and you're, let's say, very loud in your busking performances. I promise you now, 160 hours of being busking on the streets. I mean, guess what? Or else 10 people follow me. I mean, 10 people. I mean, exactly what you want? I mean, guess what? I mean, go and do 160 hours of busking, but just sit down and be silent instead. I promise you now, that's what I'm testing, but it works. I promise you now, what's amazing is understand every single day it works regardless, but what's amazing every single day is I'm always focusing upon going away from people and being more silent now. Understand? Because I never need to public speak for them. I never need to do anything for them. I understand either way. I just do something public with myself in terms of my eye. But what's amazing every single day is focus upon understanding this now. That I now am never again going to do a public speaking performance in front of people at a busking event. I mean, even after 160 hours of actual growth. I mean, do you understand? Because I never need them to grow. I never need to grow that way. You understand? I promise you now, does it help me grow? I promise you it helps me grow. I promise you. Let's say it helps me grow, because it does. But what's amazing is when I lift my voice and I'm in front of people public speaking, I never need to be doing it in front of them. Because guess what? Or else they never appreciate it. Or else now what I appreciate is understanding I want to market myself in silence. Because when I market myself in silence, I'll be promoting myself and doing my work elsewhere. I'm still in front of people, aren't I? I'm still in front of people for 8 hours a day. But guess what? You can never prepare for a 10,000 stadium of public speaking. I mean, guess what? Or else you get, let's say you get invited for yourself to go to an event, or else you get invited to go to an event to public speak at a 10,000 stadium setting. Or else 10,000 people are going to watch you for 1 hour. But they're all sitting to watch you. Or else, how do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for that? Guess what? Or else now, busking performances, or else, yes, or else what happens is you actually learn something along the way about people. you learn a lot about people when you're basking performances and when you're doing basking performances and communicating in front of people. I promise you, you learn a lot. But then what I have learned, to sum it all up right now, is forget about it and then go and be silent. I mean, be doing basking performances, but be silent now. Whereas now, what's amazing is now my schedule from Q Space Hotel to the nice, beautiful Pitt Street Mall. I walk there and I sing. I sing while I walk my trolley in front of people. I never want to sing in front of them anymore. I mean, why is that? Because guess what? I want to be more silent because I understand the people around me are very violent. I understand that people around me are very violent. So when you're giving them a live performance, or else they get more violent with you. Understand? Or else, although, guess what? Or else every single day, focus on understanding that what's much better for you is do your work. I mean, do your work regardless. So what happens every single day is focus upon understanding now that for myself, it's much more worthy for me to go busking performances and to be silent at my busking performances. I've been doing busking for 160 hours on the street and more, understand? And I've been public speaking, doing busking performances for over 160 hours. So either way, you must understand, I've gathered enough experience to tell me that, hey, I must shut the fuck up now in terms of busking performances because I can do these videos regardless of them. I can go and do my nice, beautiful microphone speaking like this with myself in a park with birds, and I understand the birds will never attack me. You understand? I understand the birds will never attack me. Because guess what? I realized that what's amazing is non-human animals will never attack you. Or else they'll never physically try to attack you. Or else humans will drive 30,000 kilometers to attack you. You understand? Because that's the difference between non-human animals and actual humans. You understand? Or else humans are much smarter. I mean, they can find the exact location of where you are. I mean, do you understand? I mean, a tiger, how does a tiger get from Africa to Australia? I mean, you understand? I mean, come on. I mean, guys, that's the difference between non-human animals and human animals in terms of animals. I mean, understand? I mean, that's the difference between non-human animals and humans. Or else every single day, you must understand that we're animals. Or else everything is animals around us. Understand? So guess what? Or else every single day, focus upon bettering your world. Or else when you focus upon bettering your world, I now can go and help you. I can help you because you're bettering the world around you. Or else every single day that when I go busking performances now, and I just go be silent. I walk my trolley in silence. I never want to be pumping my music around these people around me. Because why? Because I want to be much more silent. I want to blend in with the crowd, and I want to be silent this time. I want to be so silent that eventually, I'm still doing my work, I just never do it around people. Understand? I never do my work around other people. I do it around my word eye. Understand? Or else now, either way, so what's amazing is, am I around people doing my work now? I'm probably, yeah, but guess what? I'm not literally trying to speak over them. Understand? I'm probably, that's why they respect me. I mean, that's why they appreciate my actual lifestyle build. Or else why? Because I'm silent. I'm silent around them. Or else now, or else that family over there that has a baby like this, or else they look very happy that I'm here and that I'm never speaking over them. Understand? Or else they look very happy. Understand? Because guess what? I'm not over there trying to teach them something. Understand? I'm here online. Understand? Or else I'm not trying to go with my nice beautiful portable speaker over here and trying to amplify their sound in terms of my sound to talk over them. Understand? Because when you talk over people, or else they hate you. But guess what? Or else it's a nice beautiful thing to talk over people. But most people believe that it's some kind of abuse. Understand? Or else they believe it's abuse when you talk over them. Understand? Or else my biological mother used to say, never backtalk me. Or she never loves when I backtalk her. Understand? Or she never respects my voice. Or she says, shut the fuck up. Or she never wants me to, or she never even wants me to hear my voice. Or she never wants to hear my voice. I mean, what kind of mother is that? Understand? Or as older, you must understand to never tell your kids that, or as you talk to speak up a bit. I want to hear your voice. Understand? So every single day, I understand to never backtalk people. Because when you backtalk them, or as what happens is they never appreciate it. They never appreciate you. Or as my mother left me when I was 8 years of age. Or as she never came back. You understand? I mean, what kind of mother is that? You understand? Although, I'll say that she gives me $2,000 or here and there and gives me money and also helps me travel the world sometimes. You understand? Although, guess what? Or as that from the age of 8, or as she came back at 13, but just for a short time. You understand? And then she went to Germany again. Then guess what? I went to see her at 16. I went to see her at 18. I went to see her at 20 something. So either way, you must understand that she gives him the money for the ticket. You understand? Whereas now I never do it for the ticket. I do it for I. I go there to see her for I. And I never do it for them. Although understand that she left a long time ago. You understand? Although guess what? I've been growing up without a mother. I've been growing up without a biological mother, and without women in my life. I've been growing up with guys around me. You understand? I've been growing up with my dad, because of my biological dad, and he's been teaching me everything. But my biological dad loves me more than my actual biological mother. You understand? At the moment, because I've been with my biological dad 19 years more than I have with my biological mother. You understand? Although guess what? I realized that my biological dad has done far more for me than my biological mother ever has in my life. You understand? Although you must understand that those who have done much more for you than anybody else love you much more than anybody else. You understand? I just want you to understand that I want you to be that individual who gives you the most. I mean, never ever allow other people to give you much more than you deserve. I mean, do you understand? Whereas now, if you deserve a Ferrari, I'll give you a Ferrari. And you allow it because you deserve it. But if you never deserve a Ferrari, I mean, make sure that you understand that if somebody's trying to give you a Ferrari, you accept it. You understand? But make sure you understand every single day that you forgive. You forgive yourself. You must understand that what's amazing is what you have today is what you would deserve. And that's it. I mean, guess what? You only ever deserve what you have today. I promise you that's it. I promise you whatever you have today is what you deserve. I promise you now, if you choose to grow much more and you choose to help people and you choose to actually give those words much more, you deserve more. Or else now, every single day, I'll work for that. I'll work to have more. I'll work to have the Ferrari. I'll work to have all I want in my life. I'll work to give you that. I already have the Ferrari. I have everything I ever want. You have to understand that possessions and everything in life, I have it already. I have my word I. I have my word I. But make sure you understand that what's amazing every single day is focus upon having a peaceful life and go alone to places. I mean, go and visit every single place in the world alone. I mean, you never need other people. You never need other people. You're going to be much more blissful doing your passions alone than with other people. Whereas now, if you understand that if you go asking public speakers to go and be on their show and to go and be running rampant on their show while you are speaking up and lifting everybody, while they are lifting everybody, I promise you they never want you there. I promise you they want the spotlight. I promise you it's a competition, you understand? Or else they may be speaking 8 hours at the seminar, but you may be asking for 1 hour or something. But they never want you there because they want to have the full 8 hours. You understand? But guess what? You never need to be creating those seminars that they do, because go and create them online like I am. Or else this nice beautiful seminar is a seminar right now. I never need to go and advertise around Sydney, Australia, and try to get 40 people into my seminar. I mean, who cares about that? I mean, I never care about that anymore. Because guess what? Or else I've been to busking events. I can see what people are. I can see straight away that I have more people at my seminars than those people who are making seminars around Sydney in an RSL club or in a workers club or in a nightclub. You understand? I have more people that see me. I just can do my nice beautiful busking performances and be loud, and I have 10,000 people watching me every single day. But guess what? I realize that one of them will follow me from 1 million. You understand? I realize that 10 million people have seen me around Australia, but only 10 people follow me. You understand? Because I'm loud. I'm very loud. I'm very positive. You understand? So understand they dislike it. I mean, they dislike people who are so much louder than them. You understand? Whereas when you're giving a performance and you're the center of attention and you have all the celebrations going and they watch you, I mean, they're jealous of you. Whereas now, if you just look at this picture though, you just sit and look like you're homeless or something. I mean, look like you're homeless and be on the street and sit on the floor and have your promotional sign and have a dog with you as well. And just be in silence for 8 hours on the busking performances and just never even seem like you have some kind of celebration going. I'm pretty sure they all follow you. I'm pretty sure they all follow you because they believe they're more successful than you. Understand? I'm pretty sure they all start following you. But make sure your online career, such as your YouTube channel and your Instagram, is something great. I mean, it's something great. And it's something that's speaking louder than them. But you look homeless on the street. You look homeless when they see you, but then they go on your actual Instagram, but they follow you this time. You understand? Or they'll follow you. Why? You must understand that what's amazing is focus upon understanding that it's because you're silent. You understand? You're very silent. And understand that is why they do follow you. Or they respect people who are much more silent around them. You understand? But when you're so much silent and you're so much more successful than them, or they hate you anyway. You You must understand that what's amazing is if you have any type of success over them, or else they'll hate you. Understand? Or else now, is it worth it for you to go and really promote yourself silently everywhere? I mean, yes. You must understand that it's the only way to go. You must understand the only way to really promote yourself is go be doing your business silently. I mean, guess what? Or else that if you look homeless on the street, or else they'll love you for it. I mean, they're happy for you. Or else if he has a greater girlfriend than you, or else he's happy for you. Or else he's happy for you. I mean, he's happy that he has a greater girlfriend than you. Understand? But if you have a greater husband or wife than him, or else they're jealous of you. I'm never jealous of you. I have my word I. Understand? I have my word I. I don't care about what you have. I have already. Understand? So that's the difference between me and them. Understand? Or that's the difference between I and them. Understand? So every single day, focus upon understanding to do your work regardless. I mean, it's been 40 minutes already in my video. I mean, I'm so passionate about my work. Understand? I mean, 40 minutes goes quickly. Understand? I mean, wow. I mean, every single day, 40. I promise you, every single day, focus on understanding that now, if I go poker, for example, I mean, what I do at a poker event, for example, is I never play poker anymore. But understand that what's amazing is if I go now, I go and journal. I write my business. I'm doing my business while I'm actually I'm doing business while I'm playing poker. Or else now, I'm never playing poker, but guess what? Or else now, I can go and do my journal. I can start writing something down. I can read entrepreneurship while I may be playing poker. Understand? But guess what? Or else that business in terms of poker alone is never the actual business of mine. Or else poker business and poker cards is never actually my business. I mean, that's just entertainment. Or else that's somewhere where you go to just gamble your money away in terms of plastic money and your time as well. But understand, I never gamble my time away. Or else if I go to a poker event for 12 hours, I'm writing, baby. I'm writing to teach you something while I'm playing poker. I'll say, you must never do this at poker. You must never do this at poker. You must never do this at poker. You must be silent at poker. You must be understanding that whatever happens, or else I may start teaching my day, for example, and what's going on around the event. I may teach you my story while I'm doing it. Understand? I teach you my story while I'm doing that. Or else now, if I go homeless today, you must understand I never go homeless, but understand that I have been homeless. So if I may go homeless, you must understand either way, I start teaching you about my experience of being homeless. And now it's also worth it. Or if I have adversity, I teach you about my adversity. Understand? I teach you. Now it's worth it because I'm teaching you something. But I never have adversity in my life. Or now, if I have a problem, I teach you my problems. I teach you how I solve my problems. Or now, if I get around from Sydney to Melbourne to Adelaide to Hobart and to Darwin and to Alice Springs and to Perth and to Townsville and Cairns and Sunshine Coast and Noosa and Mooloolaba and also Maroochydore, and then I go to Downport and Launceston, and then I understand either way, I'll go to Lightning Ridge and all these other places, and you have never been there, I'll teach you how to do it. Understand? Because I've experienced it. I've been there. Understand? Or as if I've been to the brothel, I'll teach you what that is. Understand? Because I've experienced it. Or else you go teach your experiences, you understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, every single day, focus upon understanding that you can convince anybody in silence. You can be silent very much with yourself in terms of a lot, and you understand how to really live life. I mean, guess what? Or else it's never ever in the loudness. Or else it's never in the live performance. Or else what's amazing is live performances where you're alone is the best kind of way. I mean, doing live performances in front of other people, I promise you, it's much better to be doing live performances with yourself only than with other people. You understand? Because look at Drake. I mean, look at Drake. I realize Drake. I mean, Drake's a singer. I mean, Drake's a rapper, and he goes in front of an audience and they say, boo. I mean, 10,000 people are booing him. I mean, is it nice? I mean, why is that nice? I mean, why does that have to be nice? I mean, just leave the stage. I mean, who cares about them? I mean, that's what he done. I mean, why do you want to be performing in front of people who boo you? I mean, what for? I mean, guess what? Or now, every single day, focus upon understanding that if Drake shows up on that stage and there's no people, or as Drake starts to sing, you understand? Well, I mean, why? Because Drake has nobody else there to boo him, or as nobody else is there to demotivate him anymore. You understand? But as soon as Drake tries to step up in front of a crowd to start singing because he's so famous, or as they say, boo, or is all jealous of him. Understand? So why do you want to be around the crowd like that? I mean, who cares about them? I mean, do you understand the live performances? I mean, I'm doing this. I'd rather do this than being in Sydney right now doing a live basket performances in front of people. I'd rather do this than being in front of people public speaking. Understand? I'd rather do this. Because long term, you must understand that what's happening long term in your life right now is everything is going online. And you're going to be much more alone throughout time than you are going to be with other people. I realize now, because you're going to be much more alone than with other people, I realize is fame worth it? I mean, is fame worth it in front of other people? I mean, look at Drake. I mean, he has fame around people. But when he goes to people, or as the people boo him. Or as now, Jesus Christ has fame around people. So when Jesus Christ goes to people, or as people go and put Jesus Christ on the cross to let him die. I mean, do you understand what fame is now? You never need fame, you just need yourself. Understand? You never need to public speak in front of people, you just need to be able to speak. Understand? You never need to be in front of people, you just need to be in front of yourself. You never need to give a live performance in front of people, you just need to give a live performance in front of yourself. I mean, what am I doing now? I'm giving a live performance in front of myself because I understand nobody else is going to boo me around and nobody else is going to try to come into my video now to criticize me negatively, and nobody else is going to give me issues, and nobody is going to come hit me because I'm alone. You understand? I have peace and quiet now. I have birds. You understand? But when I go in front of people and when I start doing a live performance in front of people, I realize I love it. I love to do it. I love to be able to sing over people. You understand? I love to be the loudest one. I love to be famous in front of people. I promise you, just like Jesus Christ. Understand? But then guess what? Or else they come and kill you. Or else now, is it worth it? I promise you now, in Jesus Christ's life, I promise you, yes. I promise you, Jesus Christ says it's worth it. I mean, let them kill you. Understand? I promise you, that's it. I promise you all that, guess what? Or else either way, I'll have to do it another way. I promise you all that, understand that I never want to die. I promise you all that, understand that every single day. I promise you every single day, I never die anyway. I understand although, guess what? Or is that now it's a new way. That was back then with Jesus Christ. You understand? If Jesus Christ came today, or is now, does Jesus Christ do the exact same thing today? Now, guess what? Or Jesus Christ may do something even more that's something different to what Jesus Christ has done, but in the same kind of way. Or is now, what can that be? Or is now, maybe Jesus Christ can go online where he can go and do his work without having to be in front of other people. Or is now, does Jesus Christ do that? Or is now, Jesus Christ says, hey, I have to show up in front of you to be able to do your work. You understand? So guess what? Jesus Christ has to be in front of you to do his work. Or now, guess what? I have to be in front of you here to be able to do my work. You understand? I'm in front of you, but I'm just in front of you online. But Jesus Christ says, yes, you can actually go online and do it. Or now, either way, that's what Jesus Christ wants for you. You understand? I mean, Jesus Christ wants you to just be away from people so that you can go and do yourself. You understand? I mean, be away from other people so that you never have to go and, let's say, die in the same way that Jesus Christ died, but in a way that you have to understand that Jesus Christ never dies, but understand that Jesus Christ wants for you to understand every single day that you go and focus on yourself the most. Whereas now, when you focus on yourself, I promise you, it's never a shame that Jesus Christ dies for you. I promise you that it's more that if you die doing your passions because other people have done you a wrongdoing or something where they came and killed you, I promise you there's no wrong or right. I promise you, although you must understand that it's more that you go and focus upon Jesus Christ and walk his footsteps. I promise you now, for me, in order for me to walk Jesus Christ's footsteps now, I want to be doing my work online and away from people. Whereas now, when I'm away from people, I want to be just with my eye, and that's it. Whereas now, when I do this, I look at Jesus Christ and I say, hey, I want to be going long term. I want to outlive Jesus Christ. I want to outlive you. I want to outlive everything. I want to be the best I can be. I want to be helping Jesus Christ along the way. And then I want to also be able to do my work away from people so that I never have to give them a live performance. And so I never have to make other people kill me. You understand? Approaching now, Jesus Christ says, you can totally do that. But guess what? What happens eventually is they call you to come and speak. You understand? Or they'll call me eventually and they'll say, hey, Danny, you're so great at what you're doing. I want you to come and give us a live performance. But then if I do that, I'm not sure I can, although I can also deny it. I can also say, I already have everything I ever want. I never have to. I never have to go there. I never have to go give a live performance in front of people anymore. You understand? I can just say, that's that. I mean, that's it. I mean, you guys just get me online. You understand? But what's amazing is eventually, you must understand, you may have maybe 50 opportunities to public speak in front of people in your lifetime. I mean, guess what? I realized that over time, I mean, those opportunities, you must understand that what's amazing is you always have an opportunity with yourself to do these videos. I mean, you can always rely on yourself, but never rely on other people to call you to come to an event that they make. I mean, Grant Cardone has a nice, beautiful way of GrowthCon in terms of his nice, beautiful event, GrowthCon. And it's been happening for 3 years, but I never expect him to call me. I never expect them to call me, because guess what? I expect to just be doing my work daily. I realize that when I never expect other people to do anything for me, I'm just much happier. I realize that he may die today. I realize he may die in the next second. You understand? I realize that he may never call me. You understand? I realize now, if I expect for him to call me and he dies before he does, or that leads to disappointment, doesn't it? You understand? Or now, I never try to expect anything from other people. I just expect of Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ always delivers. You understand? I expect everything to happen that's in the Bible of Jesus Christ. I promise you, that's it. I promise you that once I pass away from this world, I promise you, I never care anymore. I just want to believe in the Bible because I want to believe in a better world. You understand? I realize that although I never pass away, I'm still here with my knowledge. I'm still giving you my knowledge. I'm still giving you my attitude. You understand? So, do I want to give live performances in front of people? I mean, no. I want to be able to do my nice, beautiful performances away from people. I want to be by myself. I want to be going to Tahiti alone. I want to sit on those 2 chairs where it looks nice in the horizon and it's just me. I want to be on the island of Tahiti by myself. You understand? I want to be on the island of Hawaii and Australia. I want to be here in Australia alone. I never want people around me. Understand? I never want them around me. And I want to be doing my work. I want to be free. You understand? I mean, get away from people. I mean, if you want to be free, I mean, get away from people. Alright, now, if you want to go around people, you must understand to be silent while you be there. I mean, never try to raise your voice. Because as soon as you start raising your voice in front of people, they are trying to challenge you. I mean, they are trying to challenge you through the voice. Or they're trying to shut you up so that they could speak more to look better than you. You understand? Or is that all you have to do is realize this. You get away from people and let them challenge each other. I mean, let them challenge each other for who's the biggest status. While you go alone and just be the biggest status for yourself. I mean, forget trying to be a big status for other people. I mean, be a big status for you and that's it. Whereas now fame looks like Jesus Christ. You understand? Whereas now fame, I mean, true fame in front of people ends up like Jesus Christ. You understand? Whereas now understand that either way, I promise you it's a blessing to die like Jesus Christ. I promise you it's a blessing because other people kill you. You understand? Whereas you never want to leave the world, but other people want you to leave. You understand? Whereas it's a blessing. But understand, either way, that today's fame is more, you be silent. You be silent and do your work away from people. And then you get to live a long life. You only ever get to live a long life when you're more silent and away from people. You understand? I mean, just be around yourself. You get to live a longer life like that. Whereas now, either way, what's important is understand that people never appreciate my nice, beautiful live performances in front of a crowd. I'm pretty sure when I'm there, and I speak so great, I speak like this, I speak amazing in front of a crowd. You guys have watched me. I'm pretty sure that what's amazing, I'm pretty sure they never appreciate it. You understand? Or yes, or some people come into my nice, beautiful video, and they actually appreciate me. Or some people, or that's a minority. I'm pretty sure out of 10 million people, probably maybe 10 people actually appreciate me because they talk to me. You understand? They've been speaking to me on the video and I inspire them. You understand? But everybody else just sees some guy rambling over them. You understand? Or they see some parade going on. Or as soon as they see a parade in your life, or they get jealous. You understand? I mean, what kind of parade? I mean, they see that I'm more successful than them. Or when they see that I'm more successful than them, or they start to boo. Or they start to boo you. You understand? Or there's this politic that's going around, I forgot his name, but understand either way, he's going around, and this is the moral of the story. Or he is trying to prevent coronavirus from spreading out. You understand? Or he's trying to say over here that he wants the coronavirus to totally fuck off. You understand? But then the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, and all these other politics are telling him to shut the fuck up about it and to accept it. You understand? Now this man, or this gentleman, is let's say, overweight to some degree, but guess what? Or else he is trying to, let's say, get rid of this whole coronavirus, and he's trying to make a name for himself, and he's doing it right now. You understand? But what's amazing is understand that now, when you understand that when you raise your voice, or else other people will tell you to shut the fuck up. I mean, just like Scott Morrison, in terms of the President of Australia. You understand? I'm pretty sure all realize that Australians say Prime Minister, and Americans say President. But guess what? Or there's no correct way to say it. Or you can say President of Australia, you can say Prime Minister of Australia, you can say whatever you want. You understand? I mean, it's your life. I mean, just understand that it's just two different words to explain the same scenario. You understand? I brush every single day. Focus on understanding that everybody has a different dialect than you, and focus upon understanding that you are just unique to your way of life. Whereas now, on Instagram, for example, I went on Instagram today, and before I fell asleep yesterday, in terms of today, I went on Instagram and I really tagged these people that are my mentors in some kind of fashion. And now I tag them to promote them on my Instagram, and I send it to them, and I send them my results in terms of Instagram, and I tell them how many people are going to be watching them over the next months. And then what I do is I leave it long term, and then what happens is they invite me eventually to come to a public speaking performance. Understand? And now it's much more of a blessing for me to promote them than it is to me in terms of never to promote them. Understand? So I'd rather leave them on my Instagram for the rest of my life to promote them totally. I realize either way, but what I can do is I can take them off my Instagram and promote them elsewhere as well. But I want them to be aware of my promotion with them so that they can eventually invite me. Whereas now that nice beautiful seed is going to grow into something. And now what happens is I eventually get to meet those people in real life. Understand? I promise you that's it. Although I just have to leave it there for as long as possible until I see them. Understand? Now every single day, focus upon understanding that when you go and do your work somewhere, you go and focus upon yourself every single day. Although I have a nice beautiful Apple Watch that says I have 1 hour and 14 minutes until my sunrise, because of my sunset, goes away. I promise you, although every single day, understand that what's important is focus upon understanding that every single day, I focus on rotating my Mega Drive. I promise you my Mega Drive, I promise you may just hear the words Mega Drive. You understand? But there's so much going on in that Mega Drive that I do. I may say I just do my Mega Drive, but there's millions of aspects that I do in my Mega Drive and more. Of course, there's so much passion in that. Or as for you, I mean, big deal. You know, I mean, big deal. I'm in Mega Drive. I mean, because you never started anything in your Mega Drive. You understand? Or as you never put your whole life in there. You understand? Or as you never even have, let's say, 1 million photos of yourself in Mega Drive. You never even have stories about you in your Mega Drive. You understand? I mean, of course, it's no big deal. But when I have all my stories I've ever made, and all these courses I've ever made, and all the life of Danny Milivojevic in Mega Drive, I'm pretty sure it's something big for me in terms of I'm pretty sure, although I understand that what's amazing is understand every single day you deserve a greater life. So when you deserve a greater life, try to be more silent. So now I understand I'm a music producer and I pump my music everywhere. I go everywhere with my music, with my trolley, and I pump it. But guess what? Now I understand that what's amazing is when I pump my music, or else everybody is looking at me, and I'm the spotlight. I'm the spotlight because I'm making the most sound. I just rule over them with sounds, and now they're jealous of me. Whereas now, because they're jealous of me, I realize they want to physically abuse me, and I can see the tension. I can see they're very tense about me. Or they're very tense to hit me. You understand? But they do not even realize what they're doing. You understand? Or they're never even cheering to my music. Or they just really looking at me in anguish and suffering. I mean, they're very, I could say, very hypercritical and negative about my music as well. You understand? Or is that negative about music? I mean, why are you negative about music for? I mean, why don't you support music? I mean, you understand? I mean, guess what? I realize that's why. I mean, that's why I just turn it off from now on. I just go and pump it online. I go and pump it on my headphones. I go do something else. But then, let's say I want to play my music now. I just go around somewhere in a bush somewhere where there's no people and I pump it. You understand? I just pump it for 3 minutes or the full track, in terms of the full track, and then I just let it go. I just want to hear it once because I'm a music producer. You understand? I die for my Mega Drive. I mean, I can go all day long now. I can go die like Jesus Christ. I can die exactly like Jesus Christ. You understand? I am proud of it. You understand? I'm proud of doing my work in this world. And if people want to kill me, I can die for it. You understand? I promise you. I promise you all that I want to live a longer life. You understand? I want to be away from people. I want to be doing my work for longer than Jesus Christ. You understand? I have goals as well. I understand how Jesus Christ is. You understand? But guess what? Or do I have a limit? I have no limits either. But Jesus Christ is saying over here, hey, you must understand either way that when you're really, really developing yourself and you're looking for nice, beautiful inspiration, you go to Jesus Christ and you understand how to live life. You understand? Because every single day I focus upon understanding how to really do my life much better. So today, understand it either way. I have a lot to do. I have a lot of music to do. I have also uploading this content to do. But guess what? I have to go, for example, to go and do my travel photos around Newcastle. But today, I said, forget about it. There's too much physical work. So what I do is I realize to analyze to see, is it too much physical work for me to go be able to do it today or not? Because I understand that from 3 o'clock, I have to do a 1 hour video and live coaching. And then what can I do from now? I realize, is it worth it to go walking 2 hours over there? I'm not sure, although, that for me today, no. I'm not sure, I just feel physically, I feel physically amazing right now, but I just want to have more energy for myself. I just want to be able to stay indoors a bit more, and I just want to do something else other than walk around Newcastle today. Understand? I mean, just so either way, I want to be able to go and do my work. I realize I'm much more passionate about my work than anything else. So my work is going around Newcastle and taking photos of Newcastle, for example. That's my work. But I want to do something else. For example, I'm still passionate about Newcastle. I just want to be doing something else because it's physicality, or it's a physical awareness. So when I realized that I have to go walking 10 kilometers or just walking around Newcastle today, and there's only 2 hours to go of sunlight, it doesn't really add up to the equation for myself to go. Because by the time I get the Uber, I go there, I may walk 1 hour, I may see something. I mean, it's worth it. But understand either way that what's amazing is that I have something else to do too. I just go and trade that 2 hours to put it into something different, like make music for 2 hours instead. Understand? Because if I want to go around Newcastle, I want to go from 10 a.m. and go walk the whole day, for example. Understand? I want to walk the whole day. I never want to just walk for 2 hours. Understand? I want to walk the whole day. I want to see a lot in one day. I want to do it all in one day. You understand? Whereas now, there's a big difference between coming to Newcastle and you see Newcastle in 24 hours. You just see Newcastle in 24 hours. But then there's a big difference between someone who comes here with their family, or let's say with yourself, for example, which is your family. You must understand. And then you see Newcastle in 10 weeks. I mean, it takes you 10 weeks to see Newcastle, but it took me 1 day to see Newcastle. I mean, why does it take you 10 weeks? You understand? So I want to be able to be the one who sees Newcastle in 1 day. I mean, if you have the opportunity to see the whole world today by plane, and to see every single image of the world, I mean, right now, I mean, do you do it? I mean, of course you do it. I mean, why do you want to delay it 10 weeks? I mean, why do you want to delay 10 weeks? You understand? I mean, go around the world as fast as you can. I mean, nobody's coming with you except you. You understand? So who are your true friends? You. You're your only true friend. I'm your true friend in spiritual terms. You understand? I'm your true friend who's going to walk with you spiritually. I promise you, everybody's your true friend spiritually. But physically, I promise you, no. I promise you, physically, humans will make you suffer. I promise you, physically, they make you suffer. Physically. You understand? I promise you, women, I mean, they go have sex with anybody physically. I promise you, the guy, I promise you, they just give them money and they're having sex. I mean, and then you ask yourself, why aren't they having sex with me? I mean, why does it have to be with him or him or him or him? I mean, why aren't those beautiful women having sex with me instead? I mean, oh, they're doing it for plastic money. Understand? I mean, big deal. Understand? I mean, guess what? What's amazing is understand that when you see some guy or woman having sex with so many guys and women and all that, and they're never having sex with you, it doesn't make you feel special, does it? Or is they going and loving other people other than you? Understand? Or now what do? You just love yourself. I mean, forget them. Understand? I mean, forget the life. Understand? I mean, forget it. I mean, one woman has sex with 10,000 men and then she wants to have your kid. I mean, 10,000 guys have been there. Understand? I mean, forget about it. I mean, what for? I mean, you can get a better woman than that. Understand? You can always get better. I mean, one guy has had sex with half the world and now wants to have your kid. I mean, how many people have been there already? You understand? I want to show all that. Guess what? What's amazing is learn to love everything, but just realize that Jesus Christ never tries to make you suffer like that. You understand? Whereas now, Jesus Christ never has sex with other people at all. I mean, what can you say about Jesus Christ over here? I mean, you can say that Jesus Christ loves you fully. You understand? But when you see for example, a woman or a man having sex with another guy other than you, or else it doesn't make you feel like they love you or something. Understand? Because they're doing it with other guys and women, but not you. But Jesus Christ never does it with other guys and women because he loves you. Understand? Or that's the difference. Understand? So every single day, focus on understanding that without the Jesus Christ Bible, there is no this world. There is no world without words. Without words and tones, and without silence, and without everything that you see, how do you live life? How do you cease to exist? How do you exist in the first place? You understand? So every single day, focus upon understanding that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. And that's just another way to say that he's the gatekeeper, and he's the one that holds the gate to your life. He's the one that holds the key into your life. He's the one that actually has a home for you, or else he'll give you a home. He's the one that came here to help you, to show you that there's a better world than this. Who else came here to do that? Just Jesus Christ. You understand? Guess what? Every single day, focus on understanding that since there is a better home for us, every single day we can go and develop ourselves now to the best of our ability, and we can follow Jesus Christ fully and be proud of it. You understand? And then let them shoot you. Or else now, am I afraid of death? I'm never afraid of death. I understand that if somebody shoots me now and I start bleeding, let's say I start bleeding to death. Guess what I say? I love life. It's nothing. I just relax. You understand? I never pass away anyway. Every single day I focus on something different. I focus on something different than the blood dripping out. I focus on something else when something happens. You understand? But what's amazing is I focus on my word I never start to bleed. I never try to hurt myself physically. You understand? So I stay away from people who are physically abusing people. I stay away from violence. I stay away from anywhere where I may suspect a bombing or something like a terrorist bombing or something like that. So I understand every single day I focus upon understanding to go to countries where there's no war going on. You understand? I never want to be in Iraq when America is bombing Iraq. Why do you want to do that? First of all, why do you want to take your family there to live? You understand? Go somewhere else. If America is bombing Iraq all your life, never go there. Why? Who cares about those images? Who cares about that? You understand? Guess what? Focus on your life and focus on living more. Try to understand that what's amazing is never be afraid. Jesus says go. If you want to take your family over there, go. Jesus says never be afraid. And so when you're never afraid, you're focusing upon your life, you're focusing upon something that you love to do. So understand that's the whole point. The whole point is making sure that you just go and love yourself. That's to love yourself daily. That's understand that Jesus says, hey, or if somebody has a gun to your head, you go to them. You never be afraid. And so you never be afraid. Understand? That's it. Now, Jesus Christ stands for that. You understand? Jesus Christ says that if you want to do something in front of people and you want to be the loudest one, you be the loudest one like Jesus Christ, and then you end up like Jesus Christ. That's it. That's what Jesus Christ stands for. Although I stand for that too. I stand for that. But I want to do something different. I want to go another way. You understand? Which is Jesus Christ, but just another way. You understand? Although it's more respectful that I go and be loud with myself only. Understand? Because I feel it's a long life like this. I'm pretty sure that if you want to live a short life and you want to go the Jesus Christ way, you go to Jesus Christ because that's where I go. I'm pretty sure I go with Jesus Christ. But guess what? I want to live a longer life like Jesus Christ. You understand? Because Jesus Christ can live a long life as well. I'm pretty sure that Jesus Christ may have been just 33 when they placed him on the cross. Understand? But what's amazing is understand that what's amazing is every single day focus on trying to live up to 120 years of age. You understand? Why do you have to die at 33? You understand? Jesus Christ never wants you to die at 33. You understand? I'm pretty sure that Jesus Christ says that you're unlimited anyway. I'm pretty sure Jesus Christ says that you are living in eternity. You understand? So what's amazing is understand that I feel what I say. You understand? I'm pretty sure if you stay away from people, you will live the longest life. I'm pretty sure if you go to people, you then understand that you can die at 33, like Jesus Christ. It's just that simple. Understand? I choose to stay away from people as much as I can because I want to travel the world. I want to enjoy my life. Understand? That's it. Now, do I find that Jesus Christ enjoys his life? I promise you, Jesus Christ, the whole time is enjoying his life. The whole time. You understand? It's just that kind of lifestyle that Jesus Christ is living. I understand that. I understand that no matter what, that Jesus Christ never hurts a soul. You understand? So, of course, Jesus Christ is going to be enjoying life. Otherwise, every single day, I focus upon understanding that there's always more to say and there's always more to do, but I always look for new ideas. Otherwise, when I look for new ideas, I look for something that I can be inspirational about, and I just make sure I'm always talking word for word, everything that I can go and really do my life much better. But I understand either way that what's amazing about my life now is I make sure to travel, I make sure to go online, and I speak to anybody online now. I make sure to reply to who I want to reply to. I make sure I send a message to those people who I want to send a message to. I make sure every single day that now, that since I'm planning forward my life, I can plan it in a video, I can plan it any time of the day, but I make sure every single day that you understand that now I'm just going and focusing upon my life. But understand that if you want to speak up in front of people, or if you want to talk in front of people and you want to be loud, I'm not sure to tell you to shut the fuck up. I'm not sure it's that simple. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, but understand either way, I never tell you to shut the fuck. I never tell you to shut the fuck up. Understand? I encourage you to speak up like Jesus Christ. You understand? I encourage you. So understand that's what's happening with the presidential elections over here in terms of one individual who's trying to speak up to get the coronavirus away from the world. You understand? So I understand either way that it's all made up, or else coronavirus is all made up and they're just bullshitting everybody. You understand? Or else, although this individual can see that, and either way they're telling you to shut the fuck up about it on live television. Or else, although, make sure you understand that this world is a happier world when you're silent. You understand? Now, when you're silent with yourself and loud with yourself only, you're the happiest. But when you're around other people and you're silent, or else they can still kill you. But if you're around other people and you're loud, or else now there's a higher probability that they can kill you. You understand? Because understand it's a dangerous world like that. I promise you, it's a dangerous world when you go around other people to be louder than them. Or else now, I choose for you to come to my house so that you can be louder than me. I help you to do that. I love that. I understand that when you're louder than me, you never cause me damage. You understand? You never cause me damage because you're just positive. You just start to talk. You understand? Or else now, do I want to be heard? Or else I never have to be heard. I can hear myself inside. I can talk inside. I can just listen to you all day. I mean, my wife can listen to you all day long. You understand? Or is that every single day, I focus on understanding that no matter what happens, I'm always much more than everything else. You understand? But understand that every single day, that if somebody chooses to go for somebody else because they're louder than you, I mean, let them go. You understand? You let them go. Because every single day, focus upon understanding to get away from people. I promise you, other people will disappoint you. I promise you, I will never ever disappoint you in my spirituality. I promise you, I may never be around you physically, but understand, spiritually, I'll never ever disappoint you spiritually. I promise you now, other people and everybody will never disappoint you spiritually. I promise you, nobody can ever disappoint you spiritually, but they can physically. Or now, physically in terms of, I write you a message and you never write back. Or now, because you never wrote back physically, or now that's a disappointment. Or physicality is always a disappointment. Or anything that's physical is a disappointment. Understand? I promise you all that anything that's spiritual is always eternal life. Understand? I promise you it's always something that never disappoints you. Understand? I promise you all the women from the past, in terms of my life, and all the women and all the people in my life, I promise you they never disappoint me spiritually. I promise you physically, yeah. I promise you this individual, I promise you this guy's, I promise you physically, in terms of these guys are trying to, let's say, physically abuse me, or else that's already a disappointment, or else this woman's going for another man, or else that's physically a disappointment because she never wants to be with me physically, or else they're already going with their group only, and because they're 10 in a group and they just want to be with themselves, or else that's already a physical disappointment because they never want me to be a part of the group either. Or else that's physical. Or else now, when it's physical, I have to drive to their group. I have to drive 1 hour or 30 minutes or 20 minutes to get to those people who are together to have a celebration with them. Understand? Now, that's the kind of physical I'm talking about. Understand? When I realize that you have 10 people in your group and you're going to the movies, but you never invite me. Or that's physical. But spiritually, I thank you. I thank you that you're going together. I love you. I love you all. Spiritually, I said that either way. I mean, what movie are you watching? Or you may say that you were watching the gay parade or something. I congratulate you. Understand? I promise you either way. You must understand either way. I can go watch it myself on Netflix. Understand? I promise you now. Spiritually, yeah. I realize we have a friendship, yeah. But physically, or there's no friendship physically, or you don't want me around physically. You don't want my face 1 meter from you. You understand? So, or is that either way, or is that a woman and a man are walking over there, but why isn't that woman walking with me instead? Or is now she's physical with him, but not with me. Or is now that's a physical disappointment, isn't it? Or is now that's a disappointment because she's with him and not with me. But I'm spiritually aware that she's with me spiritually. You understand? I can see she's spiritually with me, so I never have to be a disappointment. Understand? Or now either way, you must understand that spiritually I'm here for you, so never be disappointed. Understand? Of never be a disappointment for yourself. Of course, I'm always here for you spiritually, but physically I may never be there for you. Physically, understand? I may never shake your hand in life. Or now, if I never shake your hand in this life, or that's a disappointment, isn't it? But how can I shake everybody's hand today? I mean, by the time I go shaking 1 billion people's hands, I mean, guess what? Or that's half my life gone. You understand? Or now, either way, you must understand that what's amazing is focus upon the spiritual aspects of life and look at the spirituality rather than the physicality, and understand that way you'll never ever be disappointed. You understand? You'll never be a disappointment. You'll never get into a disappointment with yourself. Or else now, those people who are jealous are more physical than they are spiritual. Or else now, when I pump my music, or else, and I pump it over the crowd, and they start to throw rocks at me and they start to hit me physically because I pump music, or else it's because they're physical range. Or else when they start talking me down and they say, shut the fuck up about my music, or else it's because they want to physically abuse me. You understand? Because they're more physical than they are spiritual. You understand? Or else when somebody wants to be negative upon you with words, I can say it's because they are more physical than they are spiritual. You understand? I never ever will hit you. I can be negative with you in the actual words that I say, but I never hit you. Or now I'm positive. You understand? But they may say something negative and then actually do it. You understand? But what's amazing is I can be negative with you with my words, but I then never will hit you. I never hit you because that's positive. You understand? Whereas the positive aspects of life is, make sure you understand, the positive aspects of life is never hit people, but the negative aspects is hitting people. You understand? I want you all though, you must understand that you can say anything to anybody in the spiritual realm, and it always counts. You understand? Or else it always counts as self-love and self-interest, because self-interest and self-love is spiritual. But anything that's physical is understanding that if you go and walk with your wife somewhere, or if you're going and having a kid with somebody else other than me, physically, or that's a disappointment. But I never look at a disappointment in terms of that. I never look at that as a disappointment anymore, because what's amazing is Jesus Christ says, go and multiply. Whereas now, because you multiply, you may have a kid with your wife or somebody in terms of your husband, or as I'm just talking like this, or as what's amazing is understand that I'm never offended. I never get judgment about anything other than I. You understand? So every single day, focus upon understanding that when you're having kids with other people, but you're not having it with me, I never disappoint myself over that. Or as if you're beautiful and you're having sex with other people other than me, I never ever get disappointed with you, because I understand that you're still spiritual with me. You're still honest with me spiritually. You understand? But if you're totally hiding the spiritual dime from me, or as if you're hiding the spiritual aspects and you're hiding Jesus Christ from me, or as now you're dishonest. You understand? So anything that's a liar, and anything that's misleading, and anything that's, let's say, something that wants to kill you, is trying to hide it from you. You understand? Or as now, anybody who's trying to take away from you is a thief, or a murderer, or somebody that wants to steal your wife behind your back, or as they want to do it behind your back. So, for example, let's say Jesus Christ is in this lifetime, but then you try everything to prevent me seeing Jesus Christ. Or that's because you're a manipulator, and that's because you're a liar, and a stealer, and a thief, and a murderer. Understand? And a psychopath who wants to kill people. Understand? Or else all to understand that you never ever try to prevent information, and you never try to prevent the truth from happening. Understand? Or else now, guess what? Or is that, for example, the wrestling and the Netflix. I promise you either way that I go and listen to everything possible that I can. But what I do with Netflix specifically and wrestling now is I just watch the images, and also I just watch the Netflix. And that's it. I love the information. Understand? I never try to prevent the information. Understand? I understand that if you're trying to prevent information from your life, that's because you're a murderer, and that's because you're a thief and a stealer and somebody who wants to penetrate me with a steel blade behind my back. Understand? Whereas anybody who tries to actually kill somebody is trying to take away from their lives. Understand? Whereas if you come here and you chop off my arm, you're trying to take away from my life. Understand? I mean, why do you want to chop off my arm for? I mean, why? I mean, that's my arm. Understand? I mean, why do you want to do that? I mean, why? I mean, just so guess what? Or else that if you want to come here and bash me because I said one word about your sister, I mean, why do you want to do that? You understand? I mean, I never do the same for you. I mean, if you say one word about my sister, I mean, go and say more words about her. Or if you love her so much, you say more words about her. You understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, every single day, focus upon understanding that every single day you need to do something. You're going to understand the physical realm and the spiritual realm much more. Because anything that's physical is a disappointment. I promise you that, for example, let's say sex with other women in terms of my life. I promise you that I have had sex with other women in terms of women, or that I am a man, or that I understand either way. I've had sex with women, but let's say never as much as other guys. And now that's a physical disappointment. Or that's so much of a, let's say, blasphemy in terms of, it's a way of saying that, hey, I'm free, I'm set free because I understand that, hey, anything that's physical, disappointment with me now. I understand that it's only the physical realm. Unfortunately, it's never the spiritual realm. So I understand that one guy has sex with all these beautiful women. I mean, 200 of them on porn tapes and everything. I mean, guess what? I mean, I understand that. But guess what? I see them. But guess what? Or is that what's amazing is realize the physicality of him having sex with all these beautiful women and understanding that he's done it more than me physically, or that is a physical disappointment for me. But spiritually, I feel much more happier than him. I feel happier than him, even though he's having sex with all these women. I feel spiritually happier because he still has to go physically having sex with all these women, and I never have to, because I'm just happier than him. Understand? I'm just happier than him. Or else he needs to be physical with a woman. I never have to be physical with a woman. Understand? Or else now, either way, I promise you other guys, for example, or else they have these beautiful abs and all these beautiful muscles and all that, or else they have better muscles than me, or else they, in terms of life, or else they are working on their body physically more than me. Or else I'm happier spiritually than them. Or else now, a woman wants the guy, in terms of the guy that's more physique than me, because they believe that the physical realm is the way to go and never the spiritual realm. You understand? Because the physical realm is going around and having sex around with the whole town and everybody and just trying to chase something physically and trying to just fuck. You understand? Of course, that's physical. Of course, those women believe in that over Jesus Christ. Understand? So I never need those women in my life because I understand those women just want physicality. I want spirituality only. Understand? I never want a woman in my life who is physical. Understand? I want a woman in my life who's only spiritual. Understand? Unfortunately, that's it. Unfortunately, now I already have them spiritually. I never need them in my life. Unfortunately, now that's what Jesus stands for. Unfortunately, Jesus came here to tell you that. Understand? Unfortunately, Jesus says here, you never need anybody other than you, because you already have them spiritually. I mean, do you understand that? But then guess what? I used to get into disappointment about this, to say, hey, but I want them physically. I never want them physically anymore. You understand? Because I understand Jesus Christ never wants them physically. Or else Jesus Christ never wants to touch you physically. I mean, Jesus Christ allows you to touch him physically. You understand? Because that's what happened with the 9 people Bible, where this woman came to anoint Jesus' legs with her hair. You understand? Because Jesus Christ allows it. But then Jesus Christ also shows us that if you want to touch people physically, or else the furthest you can go by touching people physically is wash their feet. You understand? Or else now that means help them physically. You understand? I mean, help them physically to get what they want. You understand? I'm sure that's that. I'm not sure that every single day, focus upon understanding that Jesus Christ didn't go killing people physically. You understand? I mean, Jesus Christ didn't go hanging himself physically. You understand? Or Jesus Christ didn't go chasing people physically, other than making sure that he goes up to them to teach them. You understand? I'm not sure that every single day, focus upon understanding that Jesus Christ didn't go physically to try stabbing them or something like that. You understand? I'm pretty sure that every single day, focus upon understanding that now, since you understand that physical realm is anything that you can touch, or else that's a disappointment. Or anything that you can touch is a disappointment, but anything that you can never touch is eternal life, and that's the only holy grail. Understand? I promise you, everything that's physical today will disappoint you. I promise you, that's it. I promise you, that body you want, I promise you, you may have the body you want, but then guess what? It's going to start rusting very soon. Your body will start rusting very soon. or else you'll start getting old. Or else now your body never has to get old. Your body never has to get old. Your body will get younger over time. But your body will never ever look like it is from the way it was. You understand? So let's say your body is a certain way at 20 years of age, and then at 50 or 70 or 80, your body develops in a different way. Understand? So then you believe eventually that because your muscles are not a big, or you didn't believe eventually that because eventually what happens is your muscles are just not as big as they were when you were younger. And then you start feeling disappointment about that. Understand? But then you realize that it's never about the physicality, and that's how life is. But then you actually turn spiritual during your journey. Understand? Because look at Arnold Schwarzenegger at 21, or his big physique and everything, you understand? But then at 70 years of age, or he's never even the type of looking dude that he was at 21. I mean, you'll never even recognize him. You understand? I mean, you will never recognize him. Or at 21, or he's completely looking different than 70. You understand? Or he's different. I mean, now what changed? Or else he gone younger, or else he's younger now than ever before. Or else how? I mean, spiritually, he's younger. Or else physically, he's younger. I mean, everything's younger throughout time. Understand? So what's amazing every single day is understand that your muscles and all these workouts that you're doing and all this exercising about your muscles and gaining the muscle gains and all that, or else that's just to make sure they understand that eventually you will disappoint yourself there. Or else your physical work is disappointment. Or else anything that's physical. I mean, why do you believe why do you understand anything other than yourself? You must understand yourself, but understand every single day that myself, I never go doing these bicep curls and exercising and running 10 kilometers a day and going to the beach to go do the Nutri-Grain Olympics and then run and then go and walk above the mountain and then try to get on the actual airplane while hanging off the actual airplane ladder with one arm, trying to take a photo and then falling off to try get on the ground to actually put my both feet on the ground from 100 feet and then trying to jump over here and here and then trying to be all physical like that. I mean, some people actually get their motorbikes and they go, all the way up they go all the way up the actual mountain. And then they're actually jumping with the motorbikes, man, on the mountains up there. I mean, that's all physical, you understand? I mean, guess what? I was at one mistake. I mean, boom, you're just off the mountain, man. I mean, you're free falling, and then you slap on the floor, and then you just pass away, don't you? You understand? Unfortunately, now, why do you want to do that? Other people are going and doing these dirt bike tracks and all this. I mean, understand? I mean, rally cars and all this. They're going around being physical with cars and they're trying to win a race or something physically. I mean, why are you trying to win a race physically for? I mean, what are you trying to prove, man? Why do you want to score a goal physically? You understand? Cristiano Ronaldo scores. Cristiano Ronaldo scored and scores goals in terms of life, and he's just overtaken Pele and all that. So what's amazing is understand that he has around 800 physical goals in life. But understand, I have millions of physical goals in spirituality. Understand? I already have what he has spiritually. Understand? Or else everything that you want in life, you can only have it spiritually. Or else everything that you ever want in life, you can have it spiritually. But understand every single day that, for example, you may have premature ejaculation, for example. Or else that's a physical disappointment. That when you go to the brothel or when you go with an escort somewhere and then you have sex and you have to ejaculate after 2 minutes. I mean, before 2 minutes happens. I mean, in the first 2 minutes you're already ejaculating, and then she says one time and that's it. But then you have no physical capability of, let's say, giving her more finances to go another round. But she wants you out of the equation because you gave her $140 to have it for 20 minutes, but you ejaculate in 2 minutes, and she wants you out of the fucking bedroom in 3 minutes because you ejaculated already in 2 minutes. I mean, guess what? Or else then you're asking a question, I have 20 minutes with you, but she says only one time come. Or she says only one time ejaculation. Understand? But you have still another 17 minutes to go because you rent her out for 20 minutes and never just one time come. Or as now, understand either way, that in the brothel, or as they say, 20 minutes for this amount, or as they have to fulfill it. Or as now, the woman goes up to you and says, one time come. I mean, no. I mean, they say one time come. I mean, they're bullshit. You understand? I mean, they're bullshit too much. I mean, they just want to steal your money. You understand? Or else, although that's what happens, but then you feel a physical disappointment for this. You feel physically disappointed in yourself because you can only last 2 minutes with a woman while you ejaculate, and before ejaculating, you can only last 2 minutes. But some other man on pornography can go 1 hour with 2 women without ejaculating, and they're much more attractive than the woman you're having sex with. You understand? And that's a physical disappointment. I promise you, it's total physical disappointment. You understand? I promise you, other guys are having all these women physically, and you are nowhere even near close to having that. You understand? I realize, although, you have everything spiritually. So turn spiritual so that you be less of a disappointment, is what I'm saying. I mean, forget the actual physicality of what they have physically. I mean, forget about that. I mean, look at Jesus Christ. I mean, does Jesus Christ have them sucking his dick? You understand? I mean, physically. Of course you know. Of course, Jesus Christ doesn't care about them putting their mouth physically on Jesus Christ's penis and for Jesus Christ to be doing that. You understand? Because Jesus Christ understands that the physical world is a competition, but the spiritual world is never a competition. You understand? Of course, there's no competition in the spiritual world. But understand that either way, that what's amazing is understanding every single day, focus upon understanding to lift yourself, or else when you lift yourself, you always go and grow up. You must grow up yourself. You must understand that when you're really, let's say, understanding spirituality and that you're doing much more work than everybody else, you understand you have to go and lift yourself. You understand? So when you're really lifting people in spiritual work, you actually will do something here, and you understand that there is spiritual competition. I promise you, in spirituality, I promise you there's everything. I promise you there's physicality in spirituality. Understand? So understand that for myself, for example, to go be doing physical work now and running around and driving motorbikes and having a woman behind my back and driving a motorbike and one wheel on the actual back while I have my little daughter on the back of my motorbike while she can actually fall off too. I mean, come on, man. I mean, understand? I mean, that's all bullshit. You understand? I promise you, it's all bullshit. You understand? I promise you, that physical work is all bullshit. You understand? I promise you, those muscles fall away over time. I promise you, you get weaker with physicality over time. I promise you. I can see, for example, David Goggins. I see David Goggins, for example. I promise you, he runs 42 hours. I mean, that's it. I mean, 42 hours, the guy can run full sprint. I mean, how far do you want to go, man? You understand? Or she, guess what? Or I was at 70 years of age, I mean, try to do it again. Or she would never try to do it again. But she's learned his lesson. You know, she's learned his lesson. You understand? Because now he feels a disappointment. Or as he said that he can do it at this age, but now something else is happening over here, man. I mean, what's happening, man? You know, I mean, your bones are getting thinner. You're getting weaker over time. Physically. You understand? You're getting weaker, but are you getting older? You're not getting older. You're never getting older. You're getting younger, but you're getting weaker physically over time. I mean, what David Goggins can do at 24 years of age is never what he can do at 100 years of age physically. You understand? So what happens is that body that he has is going to fade away. You understand? For sure, everybody's body is going to fade away. Whereas now my body is going to look something like this at 100 years of age. You understand? Although, guess what? I never have to disappoint myself anymore. They go Herbalife. They go Herbalife. Herbalife is this nice, beautiful program where you go and exercise, for example, with people, and you're physical, and you're dancing around like an idiot. You understand? So, guess what? What's amazing every single day is focus on understanding that you can never lose weight. You can never lose weight physically. You can only lose it spiritually. Whereas if you want to become healthier, you only become healthier spiritually. You can never do it physically. You understand? Whereas what's amazing is understand that my beautiful techniques of understanding information is spiritual. And then when you understand information about spirituality and about what you eat, you can then lose weight. I mean, you lose weight to get healthier and never to lose weight only, because then you become anorexic. You understand? Or is that what's amazing is I learned the information behind losing weight, because that's spiritual, and then I apply the discipline, which is stay away from certain food. And that's how you get healthier. You get healthier and you remove all the weight you have by staying away from certain food. But then understand, eventually you get to your actual weight class, and then you stay there, and then you maintain it, and that's it. Or as now building muscle, or as then you have to go physical work. Or as then you have to do physical work for 10 years to get the body you want. I mean, do you need all that hard work? I mean, what for? I mean, what for? You must understand that what's amazing is you can focus spiritually and be happy spiritually rather than physically. I feel amazing. I mean, why do I want to be anything much more than I am? I realize that I have to be much more than I am. I realize although I never have to go get myself bigger muscles than this. Or now, do I have to? I never have to. I have to go spiritual though. I have to be more spiritual. I never have to be more physical. I mean, guess what? That's the same thing as saying, for example, do you have to go walk 10 kilometers every single day? You never have to. I mean, who told you to? I mean, the doctor said that if you walk 10 kilometers a day, then you're going to live a longer life. That's bullshit. Understand? Although, guess what? Now, if you walk 10 kilometers a day in spirituality, it's excellent. Now, guess what? My biological mother always says that she's physical 10 kilometers every single day. I mean, physical. I mean, she's doing physical walking 10 kilometers every single day. I mean, that's the biggest lie I've ever seen in my life. Understand? Because guess what? She is looking worse physically than ever before. And she's walking 10 kilometers every single day in terms of physical. I mean, you understand? I mean, she wants to try to motivate me to be more physical. I mean, that is suffering. You understand? I mean, she's trying to make me suffer through the words. I mean, she says, Danny, I mean, get a 9-to-5 job like everybody else. I mean, she just wants me to work 9 to 5 and that's it. I mean, how limiting is that? I want to work 24/7. I mean, she just wants me to work like everybody else from 9 to 5 only. You understand? I mean, is that it? I mean, when you go and tell her to work a 9 to 5 job, I promise you, she never wants to work a 9 to 5 job, but she telling you to work a 9 to 5 job. I mean, why don't you want to work a 9 to 5 job? I mean, why are you telling me to work a 9 to 5 job? I mean, she says for me to be like everybody else. I mean, how about you? I mean, why don't you want to work a 9 to 5 job? I mean, why don't you want to be like everybody else? I mean, she's different though. I mean, yeah, I'm different too. You understand? My mum. Now, my mum is just I. I never consider anybody in my life my mum except I. You understand? Although you must understand that my biological dad, probably never gives a fuck about my 9 to 5 job career. You understand? He doesn't care about that. He says, go and work. All right, I have work. I told her I have work. He says, okay. Or that's my biological dad. But my biological mother says, don't fucking backtalk me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I say, who cares about 9 to 5 job? I mean, she'll say, do not backtalk me. You understand? I have a gun in the closet. I mean, that's my biological mom. I stay away from her. I stay away from her because she's physical. You understand? Or else, although my biological mom has never hit me physically. You understand? Or else, my biological mom has never hit me physically. You understand? But my biological dad has. Or else now, how does that work? Or else my biological dad is different to my biological mom. Understand? But understand either way that what's important is focus on understanding that I never have to go be physical much. I understand my body and my life in terms of physicality is always a, let's say, a success. I'm a success physically. I'm a success physically because my physical body is much better than yesterday. I'm looking better than ever right now. Or it's my best version. So all I have to do is just stay my best version. Or I never have to achieve Arnold Schwarzenegger best version because I'm better than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Understand? I'm better than how he looks. Totally. Understand? I'm much better than him because Arnold Schwarzenegger can never look like this face. I mean, you have big muscles, huh? I mean, try to have this face. You'll never have this face in your life. I mean, big deal. You have big muscles. I mean, big deal. I mean, what are you trying to say? I mean, a woman goes for him because of her big muscles. I mean, you'll never have this face, baby. You'll never have this face in your life. I'll never be there for you physically. You understand? I mean, go for your 2 centimeter. I mean, go for your 2 centimeter muscles in life. You understand? Because understand that whatever you have physically, I have physically already. You have bigger muscles than me? I mean, try to have this space. You never have this space, baby. Understand? I mean, what are you trying to prove, man? I mean, understand that what's amazing is just forget about these women who want physicality only. I mean, forget about them. I mean, just be happy spiritually, because understand that now I've already calculated my life in terms of my eye. I realized that what's amazing is I have a calculation that says that I actually wanted to be doing 1 hour a day of physical work on my muscles every single day for the next 72 years. I promise you all that that's 3 years of my life of physical work. It just, just physical work and trying to have these bigger muscles. I'm happy with the way I look. I'm just doing better spiritually all the time. I just want to do better spiritually. I never care about the physical work. I never care about doing physical work. I mean, do you understand? I mean, you can never lose weight physically. You can never lose weight by running. You can sweat. I mean, who said that sweat makes you lose weight? I mean, that's bullshit. You understand? I mean, sweat never makes you lose weight. I mean, guess what? Or else that's all bullshit, as I say. Or else now, the only diet that can actually make you lose weight and that can help you is veganism. Whereas veganism is the only way to actually have your health boost. I mean, carb diets, you must have a carb diet. I mean, forget the keto diet. Understand? You must understand to forget the paleo diet. You must understand to forget the meat diet and the Mediterranean or Mediterranean diets with the fish. I mean, forget about that. Understand? Because that's all bullshit. I mean, Jamie Oliver, I mean, that guy teaching you to cook on television. Understand? I mean, why do you want to do that for? I mean, guess what? What's amazing is if you want to cook something, you never cook food like Jamie Oliver. Understand? Because what happens is, I never cook my food. I never boil my food. I never toast my food. I never need to have a bloody Barbie in my backyard. Understand? I never had to have a barbecue at all in my life. I never boil my food. I never refrigerate my food. I mean, he will tell you, this is how you make a salad, and then you make it for 1 week, and you put it in the fridge for 1 week. I mean, who's going to do that? I mean, who wants to do that in life? You want to make a salad to put in the fridge for 1 week, and then you can eat it? I mean, he's already making you wait for 7 days to eat it. Or as he says, this is how you chop, or as you chop, or as you want to be chopping vegetables all your life. I mean, guess what? Or is that he may say, this is how you spice it. I mean, I never spice my food at all. You understand? I never have to. Whereas what's amazing is every single day, focus upon understanding that whatever you're doing in life, I mean, focus on understanding that every single day, I may use Vegeta only. I mean, Vegeta. And that's it. But understand either way, I never have to use Vegeta. I'm trying to eat less and less anyway. I throw away Vegeta. That's it. I promise you, every single day, focus upon understanding you never have to cook. I promise you, although they may call themselves chefs, or they're chefs. I mean, you go to a restaurant and they're already a chef or something. And I mean, like somebody who's really famous or something about a chef. I mean, a chef. Or as when somebody says, what are you? And you say, you're a chef. I mean, how good of a chef are you, man? I mean, guess what? A little baby's a chef. You understand? I mean, a little baby that's just born is a chef. You understand? Or they have to qualify though, or they have to go 6 months into a TAFE course or qualification to get a chef degree. You understand? Whereas a baby that's just born already has one, or already has a chef in life. I promise you. Whereas that baby already has a chef. You understand? Or the baby is a chef. Or you never have to qualify to be a chef for. And then I promise you, every single day, you never have to qualify for anybody. I promise you now, The Voice is around town, or as The Voice, in terms of the TV show The Voice, I never want to go there. Because what does that mean? I have to go give them a live performance where I raise my sound and they never appreciate it. And go, bam, I mean, get lost. I mean, that's what they say, you understand? Because why? Because I understand my talents and abilities says that they will reject me. I already see it. You understand? So I never go where people reject me. You understand? I stay alone. I stay alone so I can never reject myself. I stay away from all these people, and they're all bullshit in terms of how much sex they're having physically. You understand? Whereas now online, or as they may go online and have sex all the time. You understand? Or else, although, guess what? Or as the physical sex of life, you must understand that if you want to last longer in bed, you have to go physically to do it. Or that's hard work. I mean, it's hard work to go around having sex with all these women and men. I promise you, it's hard work. I promise you have to drive to her or him to get in their bed, to give them plastic money, to be with them for a certain period of time so that they are cozy in bed while you have to leave and then drive back. And then how many times do you want to do that? I mean, eventually it just stops. I mean, it comes to a halt. And then you say, hey, I mean, these women or men are just taking away my plastic money. I mean, they never loved me physically, really. I mean, they never want to be with me physically. Or they just want my plastic money. You understand? Or now, if you meet a man or woman that wants to be with you spiritually, I'm sure you can find them everywhere. I'm sure I want to be with you spiritually. I want to marry you spiritually. I'm marrying you right now spiritually. But if you meet a woman or man that wants to be with you physically and that loves you physically, that just wants to walk with you everywhere that you walk physically, I mean, that is your soul partner. Or that's somebody that loves you physically only as well. You understand? Although they love you physically more than all the other people except you. You understand? Whereas now, for example, I have a wife, but she wants to sit with me here. And she wants to be physical in my video right now. Or she's my actual wife. Because she's physical about it. But you can say that you're my wife or my husband, but that you're just watching me online. You can say that. I'm your husband. I'm your wife. Understand? But if you want to do it physically, or else now you have to find somebody who wants to do that. You understand? Or else now that's hard work. Or else that's hard work to find your soulmate. Or it's hard work to find somebody who wants to be in your life physically. Understand? Because that's a physical disappointment already. Or else now they shall pass away very soon. Understand? Or is that what's amazing is understand that yes, or they'll be with you physically, but then you have to now understand that you have 70 kilos, or else she has 50 kilos, or you have 70 kilos, or they have 80 kilos, and you have to take them with you everywhere. Or as you go here, I mean, you have to wait for them, or you never have to wait for them. You never have to wait for them, or is they coming in 20 minutes? Or now you're just doing you. Understand? Or now you have to go together. Or if you want to go to Spain but they don't want to, understand? Or now, do you want to go to Uruguay? Or now, or they want to go to Egypt. Or now, guess what? You just go to Egypt because you've never been there. Understand? But now, since they never want to go to Spain, I mean, how about you? I mean, you want to go to Spain. I mean, understand? So that's hard work, isn't it? Or they want to go where they want to go. You want to go where you want to go. But then you come to a conclusion in the middle of the line and you say, how about this place over here? Understand? But let's say it's just you. You want to go to Spain? Go to Spain. Or there's nobody else that you have to drag along with you. You want to go to Egypt? You go Egypt. You want to go Uruguay? You go Uruguay. You go Uruguay. I mean, there's nobody else to say yes or no to you. Or there's nobody else to say, hey, do you want to come or not? Or else, do you understand? I mean, there's nobody else here to prevent you from going, is what I'm saying. So understand that many people get into a relationship physically with other people, and then guess what? Or they get stuck in one place. Or as this individual has to work 9 to 5, so that this individual here can take care of 3 kids. And that's physical, understand? Well, that's a disappointment. Understand? I, for example, in this situation, I never have to work a 9 to 5 job. I never have to take care of kids. I mean, isn't that spiritual? Well, that's spiritual, isn't it? Or he has to work a 9 to 5 job so that he can take care of his wife and 3 kids. Or else she has to stay with the kids so that she can get plastic money from the husband that goes physically to get the money so that she can be with the kids physically all day long so that they can grow up, so that she can be in one space of Sydney, Australia or wherever, and so that he can work in Sydney, Australia or wherever in the world so that they can take one big family out to a holiday for 2 weeks of the year. I never have to take care of kids. I never have to have sex with anybody physically. I can just be with myself. I don't have to work a 9 to 5 job. I have all the plastic money already. I can go wherever I want. I mean, isn't that freedom? I mean, that's freedom, isn't it? Whereas now, if I have already, I mean, let's say I have 2 kids, for example. I'm pretty sure now I never ever take them to hostels anywhere around. If you want to go hostels, you go alone. You never bring your family with you to hostels. You understand? You never bring your husband or girlfriend or boyfriend with you to hostels. You understand? You never try to. Or else now you can, and now if it does work, but guess what? Or else that sometimes other people don't work. Or else now if I bring my wife and kids with me to the actual hostels, I never do it. Because I understand they're very slow. I understand they're very slow to learn. I mean, is it really? I'm not sure, although, guess what? Or is they're never slow to learn. Or is they're never slow to learn, but what is amazing is I have a better situation for them. I bring them into hotels instead. I never want to be around other people when my family's with me. Or it's never that they're slow to learn. A person never slow to learn. Person, what's amazing is everybody can be fast learner like you. Understand? But what's amazing is understand that when you're going around the world and you're traveling alone, it's much faster than traveling with other people, is what I'm saying. I can do this nice, beautiful content every single day because I have no wife. I have no kids. I can do this every single day. Understand? I have eye. I mean, eye is everything. I never need them. I wake up every single day alone. I wake up every day alone. I mean, there's no family in terms of physicality except I. Russia, there's no biological dad around me anymore. I mean, there's no biological mother around me anymore. Whereas there's no people of the past anywhere around me anymore. I grew up with all these people from the past. I grew up with all these people around me. I mean, where are they? I mean, they're all just gone somewhere else. I mean, where are my parents now? I mean, they're gone. I'm just with myself now. I wake up, I'm just by myself. There's nobody else around me. Except I. I mean, that's it. I promise you, it's just I. I mean, that's how it is. Although, guess what? I have to travel alone everywhere, but I love to go alone anyway. I love to be alone. I love to be with myself. I love to have this conversation with myself. You understand? So what's amazing is focus on understanding that the physical aspects and having a wife and kid and a relationship with other people is a waste of time. I promise you, it's a waste of time. I promise you. Because understand either way that you can, but guess what? Or is it in my future? Or is it can be, but it never has to be. I still have to plan to have a better life first before I even get to them. You understand? I have to have a better life because I never feel ready to have a kid right now. I'm 28. There's other people feel ready at 18 to have a kid already. I mean, all bullshit. I mean, they're too bullshit, man. Because Jesus Christ was never ready to have a physical kid. You understand? I'm not sure though, spiritually, I have physical kids everywhere. Your kids are my kids. I mean, your wife is my wife. I mean, your husband is my husband. You understand? I mean, you guys are my friends already. You understand? I mean, that's spiritual, you understand? But understand, physically, I'm here for myself and that's it. I can never be there for other people physically. I can never be there for you physically. I promise you. I promise you, long term, I can never be there for you physically. So never do physical work in this planet, is what I'm saying. And that's what Jesus is saying. To never do physical work in this planet. I mean, do spiritual work. Whereas now, Jesus says, yes, you have to eventually do some physical work in terms of get around and this, but it's more that you do spiritual work. You understand? I mean, spiritual work. I mean, I have to push my trolley to get here to do spiritual work. But do less physical work over time and less muscle building. You understand? While you do more talking, is what I'm saying. I have a great life. But I want you to experience my life. I want you to experience that, hey, I'm single. I'm here to mingle, but most women are very negative about that. I want you every single day is focus upon understanding I never need a woman in my life. I have myself. I understand it. I have Jesus Christ, I have eternity, but I'm never afraid to have no kids in this planet. I'm never afraid of anything in this world. I have a great legacy. I have a Nikola Tesla legacy and better. You understand? I have something better, but understand that no matter what, that in Nikola Tesla's time, whereas he has a great legacy. Whereas he has the greatest legacy among them in his time. You understand? Whereas in my time, I have the best legacy in my time too. I promise you now, either way, that I'm just born in a better time. You understand? I'm born in a better time. I promise you although, that everything is a better time. I mean, every single moment is a better time. You understand? So, you have more resources today than ever before to go do your work. You have more spirituality today to be able to be spiritual today than ever before. You have all this information of the Bible and everything. I mean, there's no excuses for why you cannot live a life. You can always live a life. I understand, although, that when a woman asks me just recently, about 3 years ago, to move in with her in her apartment, and I said no because I understand my finances is $20 a day in terms of plastic money. I was either way, you must understand that I just never felt ready. I'm not sure that it's the best decision I ever made. I mean, it's the best decision. I left my high school sweetheart and I told her to get lost. I told her to get lost so I can go better my life. Understand? I'm not sure she went making physically kids with other people, but she's already looking fatter than before. Understand? I mean, she's looking uglier than ever, physically. I promise you. I never need her in my life. Understand? I promise you, she's a beautiful soul. I promise you, she's a beautiful soul, but she looks worse than before physically. Understand? I never want you to look worse than before physically, but I look better than before physically. So understand that it's just me. But when a woman discriminates my skin color and my face and my muscles for another guy who may have bigger muscles than me only, I mean, guess what? I mean, you tell her, you never have this space in your life. You understand? You never have this space physically around you, ever. I mean, guess what? Or is that I teach you and your family and everybody around you more ideas than anybody else, except Jesus Christ. Right now, Jesus Christ teaches me everything, you understand, in terms of ideas. I'm not sure, with Jesus Christ, I'm not sure I can only add to the Jesus Christ. You understand? I'm not sure it's only amazing to understand that either way, I teach so much ideas. You understand? I teach so much of what I have that I'm only giving. You understand? I'm only giving, but I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying this peaceful life that I have. You understand? And now, to even have one physical kid on this planet is more enough. But understand that if you understand that you are more enough than the physical kid, you are even better than that. Understand? I mean, you can always simplify everything into you, and then you can just have a happier life like that. I mean, guess what? Or else that life is going to pass you by. But understand that either way, that you must be better than yesterday. Physically, mentally, and strongly, and everything. You must understand that everything is spiritually only. You must understand this. You must understand you must be better financially, and emotionally, and physically, and spiritually. I realize although I'm better physically today than ever before. I'm stronger today than ever before, physically. You understand? I, 3 years ago, was 113 kilos. I'm now 70. I'm around 70 kilos. You understand? I'm better than I am. I look better than ever before. Physically is what I'm talking about, is what you need to do. You need to look better physically than ever before. I mean, when you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, 21, and he has bigger muscles than me, but he's looking his best physically. I mean, look at me. I'm 28, and I'm looking my best physically. I mean, what? We're both looking the best physically. I mean, do you understand? I mean, what? I mean, he has bigger muscles. I'm looking my best version too. I mean, you understand? I mean, you just like something different. You just love him more than me because you want bigger muscles than me in life. You just want his muscles more than me in life. And that tells me that you just love other people more than me in life because you're going for something else physically other than what this is. Whereas when you choose his muscles over my heart, you are saying that you love the physical world more than the spiritual world. For sure, either way, that if you choose that, you go. But I deserve something spiritual in my life. I never want a woman who wants physical muscles over my heart. I mean, you look ugly then. You understand? I'm pretty sure if a woman or man wants something about another person more than you because of the physical range, you deserve better than that. You deserve spirituality more than her or him. Understand? You never need a woman. I mean, who cares about her lips? I mean, who cares about her tits? I mean, who cares about that? I mean, that's a physical range. I mean, that dries her. That goes away. You understand? I mean, the physical range of life, it goes away in this lifetime. You understand? Whereas the physical range is this lifetime. Whereas the spiritual realm is eternity. You understand? Whereas in my spirituality, I teach anybody to be peak performance really quickly. But understand either way that you ladies out there are missing out. You understand? I approach you every single day to understand that I'm giving everything anyway. You're never missing out on my spirituality. Understand? But every single day, focus on understanding that what's important is the spiritual dome. And when you have the spiritual dome, you also have the finances and the physicality and the emotional technique and the mindset and anything you ever want. Understand? Because you have it spiritually already. I'm pretty sure now those individuals who are working physically, I'm pretty sure when they're working physically more than spiritually, I'm pretty sure that's when they're more materialistic than they are Jesus Christ. I'm pretty sure my biological dad is more materialistic aspects, which is the physical realm, than he is the spiritual realm. My biological mother is more the materialistic side than she is the spiritual side. Understand? I'm more the spiritual side than the actual materialistic side, even though I grew up with parents that are materialistic more than spiritual. Whereas my whole family, except my grandfather, in terms of my grandfather, I understand my grandfather, Pedram, I understand he is much more spiritual in terms of the long range of life. Understand? First, now he is much more spiritual. I can see that. I can see it. I mean, he's ready to let go of all the possessions he has. Understand? But my biological dad never wants to let go of the cigarettes, or else he never wants to let go of anything. Understand? I mean, he wants to keep the toys from, or else he wants to keep my toys from when I had 2 years of age. Understand? Or else he wants to keep those toys still. Or else he has some kind of thoughts about it. Understand? Or else, although, you must understand that either way, I understand my family right now is more materialistic in terms of my biological family, is more materialistic than spiritual. But I am more spiritual than my biological family. I'm the most spiritual. Understand? I mean, why is that? Because I hang around Jesus Christ. I go to Jesus Christ and I just be with Jesus Christ every single day, and I learn from Jesus Christ on how to be spiritual. I learn from people who are spiritual teachers and gurus. I'm always seeking this information about spirituality and physicality. Understand? So I'm always teaching about it all. I'm always learning much more when I'm doing these videos. So do you believe I learned something from this video myself? I mean, of course I have. I've been speaking it. I'm more aware now about physical range and spirituality for having done this video than having never done this video. Understand? Whereas when I speak another 2 hours, I'll learn something different in how I communicate, and I'll become aware of something that I say. Understand? So the more you talk about something, the more aware you become. I understand either way. You must understand that what's amazing is now, since my Nice Beautiful video is 2 hours, I can do extra. I can keep going. I have no limits, you understand, upon how much I can give this content. I mean, I have a Nice Beautiful Apple Watch that says 9 minutes, the sunset is going. I mean, 9 minutes. So I can continue to do this video, you understand? Whereas every single day I focus upon understanding that I can see you for 2 hours and just give you content and give you content and give you content. But physically, in terms of the physical realm, I failed in terms of the physical realm. I'm pretty sure, although, guess what? I realized the physical realm with me, in terms of my eye, I never fail with my physicality. I never fail with who I am in terms of my eye, but I fail with other people physically. I fail so much with other people physically, you understand? I fail so much with all these women physically. I fail with them completely. I have an F with them. Understand? I'm pretty sure I fail with them so much. And why is that? Because I never chase them. I never try to chase them. I never try to go to them to get sex from them. Understand? I fail from that. Whereas now I'm winning my heart over. I'm winning my heart over instead of them. Understand? Whereas if I chase them to have sex, whereas that means then I lose myself in the process. Understand? I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Whereas if you chase a woman or man and you're chasing other people, it's because you're neglecting yourself. I never want to neglect myself, so I never chase a woman or other people. I never chase them physically. I never chase them physically, because if you're chasing other people physically, you're then neglecting yourself. You understand? Or else either way, you must understand to never neglect yourself. So try to go less physically and go more spiritually, and try to talk to them spiritually. I mean, go all the world for them in spiritual acts. I mean, go all the world for them in spiritual aspects. I mean, try to connect with them spiritually, but never physically. Understand? Or because you fail physically. You fail physically with them. Always. Or maybe sometimes you want to have sex with your wife or husband, but they don't want to. Or that's already a fail in the physical realm. I mean, they don't want to touch you. I mean, guess what? Or that's conditional. You understand? Or when you ask for your wife or husband to touch you and they never want to touch you, it's because they are being conditional with you. But if you ask them to touch you with communication and just say that you love me, and they say, I love you though, now it's unconditional. You understand? Now, if your husband or wife doesn't want to touch you, it's because of what? Or now, if you're asking them to touch you and they never touch you, I can say it's conditional. So never be conditional. You understand? I mean, never try to seek physicality with other people, because it's conditional. You understand? But when you're asking for them to say I love you, I need you to say I love you to me. I want you to say I love you. But then they say I love you, you now are unconditional with them. You can say that you still have love with them. You still have a lot of love with them because they're telling that they love you, but they just don't want to touch you physically. You understand? Or now, either way, you must understand that what's amazing is, let's say you ask your wife or husband to, or other people, in terms of to love you physically, and they don't want to, but then just say, I understand, although you don't want to love me physically and you don't want to touch me, but you want to say that you love me. I mean, do you love me? And they say, I love you. I mean, guess what? Since they say I love you to you, or that's because they still do love you, but they just don't want to touch you physically. Understand? So never be offended about that. I mean, never get offended about the physical range that you have. I understand bigger guys. I understand there's so many bigger guys physically than me, but I'm the best version. I mean, Brock Lesnar, I mean, that guy is so big. I mean, he can tackle you. I mean, he can fight you. I mean, he can win the fight in physical range. But guess what? I can get a gun. I can kill the beast. You understand? I can kill him with a gun. I mean, does it make him any stronger? I get a gun. I get a machete. I get something. I chop him. You understand? I can get something to kill him with. I mean, he may have all these big muscles, man. I get a freaking sniper. I'll sniper his head off. You understand? I promise you, it's that simple. I mean, he may be Godzilla in his muscles, man. I mean, big deal. I get something like a bullet or something. I just boom, 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 boom. I just shoot him in the heart. You understand? He falls, or he falls quick. You understand? Promise you, that's never the point either. Understand? Or else now, for example, a woman wants him physically, for example, and wants to be physical with him because of his body. You understand? Which is saying that she wants a stronger man. So when I come here and I get the gun and I shoot him in the head, I mean, who do you want now? I mean, do you want him physically, or, I mean, he's already dead. I mean, do you want me now? You understand? I mean, now she wants you, or she wants you now because you're stronger than him, because you shot him in the head and he's dead. You understand? I mean, do you see how stupid they are? I mean, women are stupid like that. I promise you. So what's amazing is never go kill people. You understand? I mean, never do that. But they're stupid. You understand? I promise you, men are like that in some kind, or else men are like that too. You understand? I never go for physicality. You understand? I see a beautiful woman who has a beautiful physique, but I have a beautiful physique too. I'm my best version. I mean, she's her best version. I mean, what? I mean, she just wants another man who's much more muscular, who can lift her to have sex. I mean, that's what she wants. You understand? I mean, big deal. I mean, go for it. You understand? I never need that in my life. I promise you, if you never want me in your life, I'll never be there for you. Understand? I promise you, it's that simple. I promise you, every single day, I understand that what's important is understand that they may be looking so big and so much more than you. But guess what? I see many big guys, I mean, they want to be Mr. Universe or Mrs. Universe, and they're doing steroids. I mean, they're doing steroids, you understand? I mean, they're doing the drugs. I mean, they're the worst version ever, even though they have big muscles. I mean, they have the best physique they've ever had, but they're doing drugs. I mean, how can you be your best version if you're doing drugs? I mean, they have a big physique, and all these NRL players from Australia, I mean, most of them are drinking alcohol. You understand? I mean, they go playing sports and then they go have a pub and a beer. You understand? I mean, guess what? I mean, how can you be your best version when you're drinking beer and doing drugs? I mean, it's a facade. I mean, that's just somebody who's a troublemaker. You understand? I see like Brock Lesnar, for example. I understand that guy has a beautiful heart. You understand? But sometimes he can get crazy. You understand? Or as he suplex you through the table over there. I mean, he starts chucking around the ring, believing he's God or something. You understand? I mean, he believes he's very strong. And you point the gun to his head, I mean, he will be on his knees. You understand? I promise you, although, it's never about that anymore. You understand? I promise you, every single day, focus upon understanding that no matter what, just be a better individual. You understand? I mean, never go pointing guns at people. But guess what? Or else he may even run at you. But guess what? I mean, he can die straight away because somebody may shoot him, or else somebody may shoot him. You understand? Whereas when somebody is really serious about shooting you, I mean, what do? You let them. Or else you never know. Because if Brock Lesnar goes and tries to tackle this guy, or is the guy, or is he's already dead. You understand? I never shoot him. I never tried to even do that. You understand? But what's amazing is focus upon understanding that it's not the physical realm that helps you. I can say it's a spiritual realm, and only Jesus Christ's words can help you. I mean, the Jesus Christ Bible is a spiritual world. You have to learn it. You have to learn the book of life, which is words and images, and being able to understand, to go indoors and cover yourself, because sometimes it can get cold in the park. I understand my hands are cold. I mean, my hands are fully cold, so I have to take care of my health physically. You understand? I understand when it starts to get cold and my hands start to get cold, I get myself gloves or something like that. But I come into a better time. I understand winter's coming up now. So when winter's coming up, I mean, it means greatness. You understand? Or as when summer's coming up, or as it means greatness, or as any type of day that is in terms of seasons. You must understand, winter is more indoors. I mean, stay indoors more than outdoors. I mean, why do you want to go to a country where there's all snow? I mean, what for? I mean, why don't you go there when it's summer? I mean, yes, I mean, go when it's snowy. But why do you have to go traveling throughout all that snow? You understand? I mean, yes, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, you may see something. You may see something. But understand, it's more about being indoors, because when you're going and traveling through all that cold, or else it may be minus 40 degrees. You want to go to Russia and travel through all the snow and 40 degrees in terms of minus 40 degrees? You want to go to Antarctica? You want to go for 1 month over there and travel all the snow over there? I mean, go walk it. I mean, go by yourself and walk it over there. I mean, go and travel the whole Antarctica and just walk it, man. I mean, you believe you're tough, you understand? I mean, you believe you're tough physically to go walk Antarctica in the cold? I mean, you understand what I mean? So why do you want to travel there? I mean, go by plane. And go see by plane. I mean, go see Antarctica by plane. I mean, go and see by plane first. And go see by plane first, and then go on the actual footpath and go and step foot on the actual Antarctica for 1 week. You understand? I mean, why do you have to just go by plane? I mean, go and be there for 1 night. I mean, stand around and experience something new. You understand? I mean, go to Spain or something, or I mean, go to Russia when it's minus 40 degrees and see how it is for 1 day. You understand? But do you want to be walking around in that kind of degrees? I mean, especially when you're 100 years of age. That's it. So take care of your health, guys, and see you guys in the next video.